I should be streaming. Hopefully it's fine. It's been ages since I actually streamed. But we shall see if this is working. Should be streaming, but it's not popping up. Why aren't you popping up? Did I even change the thumbnail? Hopefully I did, unless I'm a dummy. Did I change the thumbnail? Yes, I did. Hey there, Senpai, how you doing? Let me just cut that away. I am going to be releasing a couple of videos tonight on certain things, but as the title says, this is a weekly grind hell because I haven't done my weeklies yet. And might be a bit long due to how I kind of skipped over some basic stuff. But let me set up some stuff over here. Looks like the stream is actually fine in terms of its connections compared to last time. Hopefully I'm not gonna have a bunch of issues when NGS comes around. I might need to toy around with some of the settings over there. But yeah, it's been ages since I actually streamed and chat with you all. So no fancy music today actually. Well, yeah, no fancy music. I'm just gonna be playing the PSO2 stuff in the background. Need to do my weekly hells. I think this character already finished theirs. No, I still need to complete those two. Now, NGS is like in a week, and hopefully it is released in said week. I don't know if I'm gonna be active. You'll see me stream NGS, but I don't know. There's so many things I have to do. That's another problem, isn't it? Hopefully you got another one of these. Okay, I think I'm fine. Just in case, let me pick that up. Oh wait, problem is, I bet Voldragon quest is... Voldragon's level 60 and plus, so if I do a super hard advanced quest, it's not gonna count. Or very hard advanced quest, it's not gonna count. Hey there, Cammy. If you're wondering where I've been, it's just that I've been preoccupied. Also got knocked out with the COVID shot. Took my second one. Why am I... Oh yeah, no. The reason why I had to talk was so I can try to complete this thing. I wasn't on point with my... what is it? My damn quests. And I think the client orders are still on reset. 1810. 1810 is like around... 1810, that's like 6 o'clock my time, so it's like in 2 hours or so. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna do a couple advanced quests, just try to breeze through this. I've just been super lazy with it. I've just been preoccupied with several other things. I've been reading a lot. A lot. And I will be releasing a video talking about, like, my episode where I'm gonna go and write a bunch of stories again. Granted that's gonna die down too as well. Most of it's emergency quest. I don't care about that castle. Advanced quest, that's what I need to look at. I'm looking forward to NGS, as long as they keep it on time. What I might do is do a good chunk of PSO2 streams, so from here on out, I need to actually prep some stuff for NGS, especially in augments and affixes. I'll make a separate video talking about it, or I might just as well do a stream instead of a video, which you guys can, rewatch and just see me go at it. What can I kill that could give me 100,000? What is it? Lilliput? Nah, alright, we'll just go through a random quest. I just need to go to a quest that gives me a certain capsule as well. So if I were to go to Coast, then I'll go to Coast if need be. Coast is like what? You use a capsule, so I would have to go to a C capsule one, which is the desert. I wish I could stream on Twitch, but I feel like that's gonna be a bit of a problem, especially since most of my viewers are on YouTube. And not only that, I'm not really partnered with Twitch. I think I could technically stream, but I cannot be partnered with Twitch if I'm streaming on YouTube as well. I don't know. I haven't really poked at that. I don't know if I'm gonna be a fan of going to Twitch. I mean, I know a good chunk of people watch content over there as well on Twitch. But, I don't know, it's not my cup of tea. Can't run away from the fixes? I still need to finish some stuff. I still got like an agenda. I need to release a video tonight where I talk about the things that I regret doing, things that I didn't do, and then things that I still have to do. And in all honesty, the things that I still have to do are stuff that I can do whenever I want to. However, I am prioritizing on money making and trying to get PR Post 5, which is at 5 bill right now. So yeah, my money is kind of tight on that. Yeah, it is coming out on the knife. Hopefully they are telling the truth and there's not going to be a lot of hiccups. And hopefully, especially with the history and with the history of PSO2 stuff being released, especially on the Microsoft stores, it's a smooth release. It might have a bit of issues on both ends, but we shall see. I mean, don't get me wrong, I could stream on both servers, but it's also going to be bad on my end because you have to consider the amount of bandwidth or whatever the technical term is when it comes to streaming. Because you're going to be eating up a lot of stuff if you try to stream on multiple platforms. And I tried to do it on Twitch a couple times, but only like, what, 1 to 2 people came by? Oh shit, I have the signal burn on. Oh well. Had to be careful not to normal hit anything then. I don't think PSO2 is going to be utterly dead because depending on how people can burn through said content, they might want to backtrack. Depends on if they actually even play the story for PSO2 because some players haven't really fleshed it out. Some people left the game like in episode 2 and 3, so they wouldn't know that there's a bit more to it. It just depends on how they feel, how the players feel. Because if they're coming from PSO2 to NGS, and if the PSO2 player went through a lot of the content, they're not going to really backtrack, and yeah, they might leave PSO2 entirely for NGS. But if they're new to NGS, and they didn't play a lot of PSO2, that might be a different... God damn it, Crow, what the... God damn it, Crow. Hold up, need to close the door. Crow coming in, smacking me with that 100. God damn, Crow. I do want to get into a conversation with you, Crow, because you are like very critical on your analysis, like deciphering my chair, for example. But the books that you posted too, I do want to just like go into a talk about books and stuff. Yeah. Well, I greatly appreciate it, Crow. How you doing? Kun's like, oh snap. God's like, and I'm almost finished the episode. See, that's the one thing that I need to do. I need to finish the story. That's why throughout most of this week or upcoming week, you'll see me play a good chunk of PSO2 because story, I have to get through that. I mean, like, all the things that Crow pointed out was kind of on point. And it creeped me out because it was like, god damn. Alright, let me turn that in and then turn in some shells. But yeah, like, I'll give a bit of a preview and talk about the things I kind of regret doing and things that I purposely avoided. The big one, which might surprise some people, is that I didn't really go into crafting. Yeah, I had it. Well, I wish I had an okay Memorial Day. All I did was pretty much read a bunch of mangas and read a couple other books. Then what else did I do? Just stayed in bed because I took my second COVID shot and I was just recovering. Ah yes, the Seo Nadachi. It's worth it because you could bring in that camo over there to NGS. The only thing is you had to do like 23,000 kills? That's a pain in the butt to do. Yeah, we're gonna do a story stream. It's gonna be... I'm gonna try to kind of prep for that and let you guys know beforehand. but I need to finish it. I finished 1 and 2. I still remember 1 and 2, but I need to get through 3, 4, and 5, and 6. I think 2 was the longest, so I might be able to actually marathon most of the episodes in a day. Granted that it depends on how slow I am in terms of reading through the chapters, and also if I get distracted. Why am I here? Ah, yes, to swap out of my class. But yeah, right now, weekly grind hell. I'm trying to get a bunch of Meseta. I'm gonna say this, the Meseta you get to see is not all the Meseta I could earn. It's 2 billion at this point. However, I'm planning to sell something to Blue later, and that's gonna increase it to a stupid number, along with the stuff that I'm still selling over here, which will add up to that. So I've been making a good chunk of money without doing my weeklies, but I'm still doing my weeklies because the damn item I want is at 5 bill, 6 bill, and it's PR pose 5. Once I get it, I think I'm good when it comes to money stuff, and I might just drop weeklies once. Well, it depends. Depends on like a bunch of factors. Where are you? Where's that PR pose? It's somewhere around here. What the fuck? Isn't that the one finger I should have invested in this. Shit. Yep, a lot of people are saying that. I think a lot of news and tweets and all that are saying that NGS is going to be dropped on the 9th. And you will see me play PSO2 before NGS drops. And when it does drop, I will also be playing NGS. I will be streaming it, hopefully, depending on how clustered the servers are in my Wi-Fi. And I'll be playing on the Japanese side, sadly. Hopefully I can see a bunch of my old pals pop up too. And then hopefully I can also sell a bunch of the stuff that I still hoard in my storage. And get a bit of Meseta so I can earn a bit more things. I don't know if Sega would continue to release revivals on PSO2 with old collab stuff. It'll be interesting, it'll be nice for that to happen. But right now I'm just hyper-focused on trying to get PR pose. I think right now I don't even see it on here because it's not that popular. I don't even know the name of said lobby action. Man, some of these lobby actions though are just expensive. This stealth camo is at 3 bill now. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that if they are releasing it on the 9th that there's no hiccups. I feel like they could have just not set a release date or just do it at a later date. Especially with how stuff happened with the graphical update on the Japanese side. You guys over there in Global don't have the graphical update still, right? Megamune says, why invest in old base game market if the NGS market will be... Well, here's the thing. It's gonna take NGS, or it's gonna take Sega a while to try to get some of these old items, and some of these old items may not even get an NGS revival. Now, this is just me saying stuff out of my ass, but there's still limited stuff that is hard to acquire, and it's only on one, the Japanese side, but then two, it's also like super rare. I don't know if they plan to revive every single item in PSO2 into NGS. I'll be goddamn surprised if they do, but it's gonna take them some time to do it, and some of the things that I really want are actually out there. Now, in terms of like trying to invest in stuff, that's a gamble. I do have a video talking about like investments and whatnot right now, and also why I didn't make videos about it. That might be released tomorrow. Tomorrow night. But it's entirely up to you to figure out like if you still want to do it. Some people may say otherwise. Pretty much. There's gonna be people who may desire such things because they missed out on it because they left the game for X amount of years, and they may want to have a couple things that's on PSO2, bring it to NGS to see how it looks like. But that, once again, depends on said person, because everyone might have different tastes, everyone might not be as obsessed with like fashion. Some people might be obsessed with fashion. It just depends on how strong is your desire, and if you can play the long, weighty game and hope that the certain item that you have in PSO2 gets the NGS revival. Alright, So that was who? Sherelle. Hey there, Ricky. How you doing? Megami says, they will release on 9th and the maintenance will start in advance, so like take 1 to 2 days. Hopefully there's no hiccups. Oh, Hitsy's in the chat too? I didn't see Hitsy. Huh. Yeah, the only thing is, it's like, I know that the stuff that they're selling that's NGS worthy in PSO2 are gonna have a value still. It might go to the point where it's at those numbers, but the other problem is how many players will backtrack and play on PSO2 and try to go for these, or would they just press forward instead of going backwards? Once again, it entirely depends on the player and how they want to flesh things out. Me retired? You can't retire. Kun's like, I'm coming with NGS, nice. I played Warframe while I was in maintenance. Most likely what I might also do is just watch a bit of anime. The one update video that I have planned out, that I'm gonna release most likely somewhere in the morning of tomorrow, or tomorrow morning, excuse me, my English. We'll be talking about a bit of animes that I need to get into. And I did want to get into a conversation about 86 with you, Crow. Because I read the light novel. I still need to... I want to watch the anime and see how it plays out. I think they did like, using the 3-episode rule is stupid. I'm kind of guilty about what I said with 86. It has a bit of its charm, but you really have to get through a good chunk of the episodes to most likely understand what it's trying to do. And then not only that, it's like, it does things that I really like and that I advocate in what I say in some of my streams, especially when it comes to like pushing and doing something. Granted that they're in a peril and dire situation and a more fucked up situation compared to like just doing it on motivation and desires and goals. But yeah, 86 has caught my attention, and that's why I started to read a bunch. I still need to read... What do I need to read? There's a couple light novels I'm trying to read. One of them is like the spider one. Like, I have been reincarnated into a spider. Huh. I thought I put this as a different song. But yeah, I'm also going to be doing a marathon to rewatch Kogias. Or Kogias, however you want to pronounce it. I want to watch the Resurrection. However, apparently they changed some stuff that I did not realize they changed. And I need to watch all of the damn things again to actually see what I missed. I have seen the season 1, but I have not seen season 2. I need to get on that. But yeah, right now it's gonna most likely be 86. Well, if I have the time, it depends. Right now it's gonna be, most of this week's is gonna be towards me playing on PSO2 a bit more, before NGS comes out. Then most likely maybe at night times I'm gonna be watching a bit of anime. Yeah, Kogias is one of my favorite animes. It's on my top list. I love how they conclude it all and how it built up to what it was. Yeah, the thing about it is that you have to give 86 a bit of time because the formula that they're doing isn't the same one. And not only that, especially reading the light novel, it kind of... They're doing it quickly, which is good and bad because like the actual focus is a bit later. And the big thing is it's only a key few characters that actually shine in 86. Not all the characters are like that outstanding. but a few of them actually develop their character, and then they also do stuff, which is why I kind of like it. But it's not like the top sort of military anime that fleshed out all the things that I really like how Code Geass is, or how, like, Iron-Blooded Orphan is. I do want to rewatch that one too, Gundam Blooded Iron Orphans, or Iron-Blooded Orphans. I don't remember the exact phrasing. Actually, did I turn in my 200? This is gonna be a slow stream because I'm just like gonna be distracted by my chats, which I don't mind, because it's been ages since I talked to you. Oh no, Ricky, why the fuck do you say that? Shade's like, I do really like where 86 is. 86 has, well, it kind of goes simple from after what happens, but the build up to what happens, and then also like the things that happen with some characters, it shines really well. So I'm looking forward to watching it. Like, obviously light novels different from animes, and then also the same can be said with the mangas. Gotta respect them. You gotta look at them in their own their own mediums. But yeah, I'm interested in giving the anime a bit more of a shot, because it's like, you know, I want to see it. Actually, why did I choose you? I don't want to choose the damn thing. I don't want to choose Urban. That's a bit more work on my part. I still have to start 86. Haven't got around to it. How do I say? It's okay. If you like military and you want to see a bit of struggle and action, actually, I can't really vouch on the action part yet, on the anime side of it, but in terms of the struggle, it's there. I like that. I'm letting it build up, watch maybe 5 episodes. Yeah, the one thing that I hate is when I start reading something or watching something and it's not finished. The only time I will actually ignore that rule, like, what I tend to do is just forget about it, but the problem with me forgetting about something is that I forget everything about it. The one anime, for example, that I did watch a good chunk of episodes, well, I actually watched like 2 of the seasons for, but I just forgot the entire premise after I was waiting for the 3rd season, was Shokugana no Shana. I watched that anime when I was maybe in high school, and I remember watching like I binged the 2 seasons, and then I was like, oh shit, where's the 3rd season? Now I'm just like sitting on my butt. And then it's been years since I watched it, and then when I heard the 3rd season's finished and done with, and it's like, oh wait, oh shit, what is this story about anyways? I know that the chick is a tsundere, but yeah, I don't remember everything about the plot or what exactly happened, so I just forgot about it. There's like so many mangas I've read that I forgot about, and then I was like looking at before I started streaming, I was planning to like sit in my bed and continue reading my Yuri mangas, but let's just say that I was like, nah, I need to go do my weeklies and get a bit of Meseta, because I'm trying to get PR Post 5. But there were a good chunk of Yuri mangas I completely forgot about. I was like, what the fuck? I remember reading this, but what the hell is this all about? Scarlet Nexus getting an anime even though the game haven't came out yet. Oh, huh. I don't think I heard that one. Scarlet Nexus. Yeah, so this character might need to go through a rework and a name change. Undead Gear, I did go into a bit of history with this character and explain why I kind of named her as such. As an anime only watch, 86 is definitely interesting. There's a good chunk of animes that were on my radar, but it's like, I need to just make a bit of time to watch them. I'm still into isekai stuff, but some of them are pretty generic, and it's like, do I really want to waste time with this? Sometimes I just get into it, though, so it's like, I'll watch whatever and do whatever. The big thing is, I do want to backtrack and watch a couple of OG old animes. I think like Galactic Empire was one of them that has caught my interest, although I think it's really stupidly long. And then there's Lodris Wars, which is like a fantasy anime one that has piqued my interest a bit because I've read a couple of stories here and there about some of their characters. What is this? This is Undead Girl, so... Are all your characters going over to... Now, that's a good question, Kun. Hey there, Oz, how you doing? Now, I think I'm only taking a few characters. It depends. It's most likely the main characters out of all my 22. But they might all be integrated over there into NGS slowly. I might be sending a bit of my characters to other ships on the Japanese side so I can also play with some other people on other ships. I think someone wanted me to go to ship 3, so I'll be sending a character over there. I'm curious to ship 4, so I'll send a character over there. It depends on which character though, and I would need to actually do a bit of work and fine-tune some equipment. What about the Kogi House movies? We'll most likely marathon them this week or next week. Granted that I'm not as busy. I am also going back to some of my old hobbies. I am planning to once again do a drawing stream because I did promise Monica that I would draw her. Now, what I might end up doing is kill 2 birds with 1 stone and work on an emote where it's it's like an emote that can be used on YouTube and Discord where she's moaning. Although I will have to work on cuteness and chibiness and also working with the certain, what is it, pixel size, the ratio for said, what is it, fucking emotes. Alright, did I already put the money away? Yes. Kun's like, there are 2 galactic empires if I remember correctly. The old the long one, and a new bridge. That's not 100% sure though. Yeah, they did do a revival for that, Kun. And then there's the old one as well. So I'm debating about should I watch that old one or the revamped one. Lewd? What do you mean lewd? Wait. Oh, morph lewd emote? Gotcha. Oh, you're talking about the Monica thing. I did say I was gonna draw Monica. She made one of the augments and affixes go through, so it's like, I gotta keep to my promise. Now, how long will it take? I don't know. And when will I get around to it? It's somewhere in my lifespan. I wasn't very specific now on when I would do it, but I will do it eventually. But yeah, most of my weekend was just me lying in bed, reading books, reading mangas, because I took the second COVID shot and I knew that I was just going to be tired. I didn't feel as much pain, like there were bits of it. But it's more of me getting tired after the shot, especially after. Like, I took the shot on Friday, and then on Saturday I was like, meh. I was just tired. I may not like that. I may not like the fact that the new one skipped a lot, so I might actually go out of my way to watch the old one. Alright, let me think. So I have a bunch of these damn things, and I didn't really prep myself to do this accordingly. Do I have the Balrados order? No. Yes, I do, so I could go into Coast as well. So since I didn't pick up the Balvados client orders properly, what I will do is go to the Coast one, kill that Balvados hopefully if I get it, and then just have that 250k just sit there for next week's ARC's weekly missions. You sent an item, let me turn this in. Man, how do I feel about my time with PSO2? Since, once again, I will be releasing a video talking about it. But my time with PSO2 has been an up and down roller coaster. I've been playing this game thoroughly for most of my time. Until recently. Like, I remember a lot of stuff back into episode 2 and 3. Halfway into episode 4 days. Other than that, what is it? into episode 5 and then getting into the game again in episode 6 and then like me still playing the game. There's so many things that had happened. Alright, see ya, Ricky. Thanks for stopping by though. By the way, Morph, I don't know if you got to try the beta, did you? Oh, I did try the beta, but I didn't go into two things, which is one, the big thing you talk about, the big thing you ask about the augments and the fixes. No, that's the one thing that I didn't do a lot of, because it still does the same formulas here and there. It's pretty much you just need to get the materials, which I'm a bit worried about, because that means you need to farm all these materials. Now, it might be easier upon its release, it might not be as bad. We shall see. But you're going to be gathering a lot of materials, and it doesn't really change anything, because you usually do that same thing with augments and affixes, especially if you don't want to buy them on the market. You would need to farm for those pieces. In terms of the concept and the mechanic, they took away the RNG, but the trade-off is you got to pay a lot of materials to try to get through the certain things. What I'll end up doing is just prepping some stuff on the PSO2 side, and then have that kind of be my basic stuff for NGS until they start releasing newer things that it's not in the... that can definitely outshine the stuff that I have. Senpai says, I have 2 katanas, they're not as sharp anymore, but yeah, I know how to use them. Do anyone else do? Oh, yeah. What else? Yeah, so, like, I don't feel like it's bad. Well, here's the thing. One, it's basic stats. So, you gotta keep in mind that it's gonna most likely be appealing right now because it's simple. Not only that, you have to keep in mind that you can stack up to 10 of these, but, like, the percentage is already at a 10%. With some newer abilities later down the line, they might dumb that down to a lower percent as well. In terms of the system, I understand the system where it's like they took away the upsell penalty. However, the thing is you're gonna have to grind or enhance the certain equipment that you want to try to upslot. So if you were trying to go from like a 2 slot to a 3 slot, you would need to grind at the appropriate level on your certain equipment. Once you do that, you would also need to pay a fee where you would need to trade in certain materials. So it's pretty straightforward, but the question is how many materials would you need to try to go for an 8 slot? And obviously with the beta, it didn't really allow you to go to an 8 slot. It could be because of the fact that they're at a certain rarity where they have a certain enhancement level or max enhancement level. Or like it wasn't programmed as thoroughly just yet. Not only that, when it comes to some of the abilities on there, once again, it's pretty straightforward, it's simple. They might add more upon its release compared to what they showed in the beta. So most of these abilities have like maybe 1 or 2 abilities compared to some of the abilities that can convert from PSO2 to NGS that have like 3 or 4. And I would rather take some of the old abilities from PSO2 and use them in PSO2 NGS. But they will get outshined in due time. It's just that the question is when. But it's up to you, depending on how like some people want to go about it. Some people may want to challenge and just kind of build their way up instead of playing PSO2. Maybe they just want a fresh start and just use something else and not be remembering or don't want to see anything that's PSO2 related. It depends on one's playstyle. For me personally, I'll just do whatever. I'll use whatever I want to my advantage. If I had a lot of stuff in PSO2 that will help me save a bunch of Meseta, or a new Meseta where I can just focus on fashion in the first phase and not worry about any technical things whatsoever, so be it. I will use this free stuff that I have in PSO2, use that to my advantage in NGS, and just, you know, be in a good position. Like, there's so much junk I had to get rid of still. As a luster, is luster time worth using? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. You want to get it. Actually, that's a good question. Do you really need it, though? Yeah, I would take it, because the thing is, in terms of how fast you can pop that, well, depends on how fast you can get it, in all honesty. But in terms of actually using it, it's quick. It's going to help you with your combat as well. You'll want to take it. I retract any of my dumb statement that I was about to say. Yeah, you want to take it. You want Luster Time. Because that can also give you a bunch of damage in a short burst. Can save up lots of Meseta up to near endgame. I have a feeling the grind for mats might be a pain in the butt, so I'm carrying over. Yeah, the thing is, you may not want to use said mats, because if there is something better that you can't even get in PSO2 and you can get over there only in NGS, then you would want to use it. Not only that, you also had to consider this. If you want to backtrack and play a bit on PSO2, you would want to make sure you have decent stuff for that. So if you already invested in some decent gear, then you're kind of good on both ends. So if you do play on NGS and you want to backtrack and do some stuff in PSO2, you're not going to be hindered compared to someone that hasn't really done as much, and then they have to backtrack and use some Meseta here and there, instead of using these said currencies in the appropriate versions, and actually focus on going forward instead of going backwards. But that's just me. That's why I try to be in the moment. I don't like doing stuff that's not in the moment, because it's like I kind of miss out on some of the key things, and it might put me into a disadvantage where it's like, oh yeah, I plan to backtrack. It's like, why do I really want to backtrack when I should be going forward? A lot of people are doing this, but why am I going backwards? Plus the buff it applies. I have less of time and don't use it much, but thanks. Yeah, you'll want to use it, because, once again, it's a great amount of burst, and it'll just help you just have a... What is it? It'll help you in a number of ways, depending on how you tweak around with the skill tree. You would want it. You would want anything to... You'll want anything on your luster tree that can help you in terms of damage, or doing a bunch of combos and just doing so much instead of not doing as much. Where the fuck? Okay, so I did you, so let's go on you. Martin's like, why, hello there, how's it? Hey there, Martin, how you doing? Oh yeah, it's also PSO2 day over here, meaning that you guys will get PSO2 day in a couple hours as well. Although I already leveled up all my characters, I'm just sitting here like, I don't know what to do. I leveled up all my characters, I leveled up all my classes, so it's like, I don't know what to do other than burn some rainbow keys and just get a bit of extra cash. And I'm just running around like a dummy right now, trying to remember what the hell I need to do. It's just been fun, playing on PSO2. Well, it's weird. Like, I have a love and hate relationship with the game. The one thing that still irks me is how they just abandoned the crafting system. Or like, they just stopped doing a lot of things in general. I wish they actually fleshed out some of the classes over here on PSO2 instead of doing it over there in NGS. It would have been nice to actually see a lot of different classes with different weapons and different styles compared to what we're still kind of getting over there in NGS. But that's just a small little gripe, and that's just my opinion compared to, like, you know, a actual con. It's also a good thing that, like, some of the stuff is familiar, because if someone that hasn't played the game in ages gets back into PSO2, it's like, everything's still familiar. Granted that they took out, like, just attacks, and they took out, like, small little snippets from PSO2, and it's not over there in NGS. Click two button, for example, is dead. KMC says, only 9 more days. Yep. I need max classes, but I'm not motivated, to be honest. Right? The problem is, like, doing it now is like, do you really want to? Do you really want to? And do you feel like you'll get something out of it for maxing it out? Maybe couple of the titles, yeah, but it's like, do you really need it? Like, I don't blame people if they just, like, after, what, the official date of NGS got released, it was like, yeah, I'm done. I'll just wait for NGS now. Like, I don't blame them. But it depends on what you still need to do, and if you would want to try to, I don't know, get some lobby action still before the price might go up stupidly high. Because the market is unpredictable. You don't know if it's going to go up or down. Well, maybe you do know, but it's not, like, guaranteed. Because it will be changing for good and or worse. That's why I didn't do videos talking about the market yet, because the big thing is I don't know if people know the basics, and I would need to cover that first. And then the next thing is to just talk about a lot of different situations where you have to be aware of what's going on, and then also talk about the waiting game, because depending on various things, it's like you may want to try to sell it immediately once it is at a high price, or maybe you would want to wait so it can build up even further. Oh yeah, I got it. I got the sealed Nadachi camo. I did not stream my actual I didn't stream the actual getting of it, or I didn't record it, but I did get it unlocked. It's just sitting in my storage right now. I just pretty much forgot about it. So if anyone wants to try to get it, oh, now Blue wants it thing. But yeah, anyways, what was I? Ah, yeah. So if anyone wants to try to unlock it and they really don't want to think about it, just kind of forget about the fact that you're trying to level it. Or, like, don't really think on the numbers for it. Like, I kind of forgot about it after I was using it every now and then with certain characters that can equip it. I pretty much used a lot of bonus keys, and I did use it a couple times when I was doing my weeklies. After that, I just lost count, and then I started to use that when I was still farming some stuff, especially when Kratos got updated along with the mothership. I took the sword over there instead, used that to my advantage. What you might want to do is, if you're trying to get a good chunk of money, is that you kill 2 birds with 1 stone, play a certain class, or maybe 3. Because if you still need to level up like a hero class on a certain character, then you still need to get Meseta, and then you would also need to get kills on your sword. Then you could just go on that certain character, go and farm Kratos and have that sword. Now, don't leech. Please do not leech. Put some effort into the damn sword if you do plan to go to ultra hard and some stuff like that. It's not going to be that bad. You can spend like a bit of mil, like 1 to 2 mil to easily grind that. Hell, it might only take X cubes instead. So like, just at least enhance it. It doesn't have to be at 35, just get it to 30. Just don't take like a 0 fucking 15 star into ultra hard content, please. Oof. If you were to do the solo content mode or the 4-man, you could also get that as a possible drop as well. I got my J sword through climbing Sedan. Oh yeah, it's gonna suck. I just remember that I need to prep some low rarity stuff, and it has to be new types. I was hoping that my old types would work, but no, it doesn't. It has to be new types. Thanks, Sega. Hey there, y'all. How you doing? Yarda? Yada? I will butcher your name. I apologize. Because I am shit. You ready for NGS? Oh, for sure. I am looking forward to seeing some of my characters go over there, and I want to see them look really fucking nice. Now, the only problem I have is the face variants. Because I really want to use the NGS face, but at the same time, I want more variations, and I'm hoping that they don't do a money greedy method where they are like, oh yeah, to get different variations, you would need to buy it. I hope they don't do that sort of thing. But there's only 2 of them from what they released in the beta. Hopefully they add maybe 2 more. I want to try to get something close to what my characters have, or what Zillion and Sharel has. If not, then I might actually stick with the PSO2 face still. Until, I don't know, I get a lot of stuff. Oh, Blue wants to do the trade. But yeah, I don't like... Don't get me wrong, the second face is good. You could toy around with that and you could be okay with it. But the reason why I have a bit of a grudge with the second face from the NGS beta is because it's kind of an easy default anime face that you can easily cop out on. Now, not trying to offend anyone, it's just that I do like certain face structures and I would want to actually work for a certain look. And with Sharel and Zillion, they don't use the refresh anime face, they use that second face, the default one. Default mature face one. Now Blue's hopping around because they really want to get the damn thing. Alright, so here's the thing. I'm gonna show you how this one item I have is stupidly dummy fucking expensive, and I was just sitting on it. This thing on my ship costs 3,150 mil. Now, I could sell it for that much, but from what Blue told me, some other ships have it. And not only that, I don't know if anyone's gonna really willingly buy stuff at this price. So what I'm gonna do, especially for Blue since they're pal of mine and whatnot, I'll be trading in for like 1,500 mil. Now, I have a lot more items that I can actually get a bunch of Meseta off of. It's not just this one. And I'm giving him a discount too, so it's like 1 bill. And now the price has went up. Now, this is a new record for me in terms of the actual physical Meseta. This is the first time I went past 3 bill. Actually, no. I can also break that right now. Hold up. Now, if you read my slogan, my advertisement market on Japanese PSO2, every time someone purchases something, I will give them cuddles. If you're wondering what the hell am I doing with said cuddles, it's just because it's from my old team that I first joined. Well, not really my first team that I joined. The first team I joined was a bunch of casts. They were okay, but I wasn't comfortable with them. I didn't know them as well. So the next team that I joined was a team that I was well acquainted with, and they were nice guys. They just dropped the game later on. But they were called Cuddle Buddies, and yeah. Now, I decided to grab all that, and now I actually went past the 2 billion mark, and now I have like fucking 4 bill. It's a bit of a gamble when it comes to like you capitalizing and just doing the market. But I tend to forget about a bunch of stuff, and I play the waiting game. Some of the stuff that I would want to use, I kind of just like debate about it because it's like, do I really want to use this? And then sometimes it gets to the point where it's like that lobby action where it's stupidly expensive, but the question is, will someone actually buy it at said price? Yep, that, if you're wondering what the lobby action is, it's this thing over here. So it's not like the pillow lobby action where you hug it. It's actually these things right here. And it was rare because it was an item code. But because I wasn't using it and it was sitting there, and I doubt I would be able to sell it at a high price because people might be patient enough to see if it gets a revival. Yeah. They tend to do that. And Blue, you're using the NGS face. Poor Qual. But yeah, that's pretty much the lobby action that I gave Blue. It was an item code from a catalog. But yeah, that's not the only expensive item I have. I'm trying to get as much Meseta as I can so I can get that stupid PR pose. It would have been nice for me to get that PR pose when, what was it? Would have been nice to get that PR pose when it was in the billions, but at that time, I kind of spent my Meseta on some other items, and then it just grew to stupid numbers. Who decided to message me? It's either yeah, it's a message. Eh? I'm a wizard. Huh. Surprised they sent me a friend, or a fashion-like thing. But yeah, the only gripe I have with the NGS face is the fact that there's not the right variation for Sherelle. Now, I could show it on stream, but at the same time, I don't want to give you guys my specs because it took me a long time to try to get the certain look that I had for Sherelle and Zill. Some of my other characters I might be able to show it. Avalon, I think someone wanted to know their specs, so I might do a video talking about them. But the other big thing about like working on a certain face is that you would want to have the right items for that. You would want to have the makeup, the eyebrows, the eyelashes, the right pupil as well. Like these small little things do contribute to the overall look of an NGS or overall look to what you're going for in terms of the face. Also, not only that, I feel like the NGS face is just reminding me of a bit of a baby anime face. Something. But yeah, I know I'm not a big fan of the first NGS face. Like, I'll try to play around with it, but I'm still gonna bitch about it. For Bill. Yeah, some of these people that I see in the lobby, I remember them in certain MPAs or through MPAs or through the lobby. There's not a lot of people playing on the game right now. It's sad, but it is what it is. I mean, it's been like this ever since December 2020. They're all waiting for NGS. When it gets revived, I wonder how filled it will be. And, I will be recording that. I was complaining about NGS face until I tried to work with NGS body. The NGS body, I don't think I have a big issue with it, but I do have a bit of issues with how... Well, the body in itself may not be as bad. It looks like the conversion was fine with my characters from PSO2 to the PSO2 body. The only problem that I have is kind of the skirt, because anything you do rides up on PSO2. Now, it might not be the same thing over there in NGS, but I couldn't tell because we were kind of limited over there with the beta, since it was only like at least maybe one scratch worth of items to really tour around with. It didn't have some of the stuff that we have over here on Japanese PSO2. And not only that, my question is, how did they do the stuff over there for global PSO2? Because they haven't given you the graphical update, and they didn't give you the NGS scratches yet. So... how's that gonna work out? Are they gonna do it in a... oh god, that's gonna be a very money-greedy way of doing it. I could see them doing it in a very collective bundle sort of thing, where it's like, oh yeah, if you want like all these lobby actions. I mean, might be a fair trade-off, but I don't know. Oh god, oh god. You guys are remembering this is a sheep cosplay one. Wait, what am I doing? Oh yes, I need to... yeah, well... not the last one. Oh wait, I just realized next week they're gonna do an early maintenance and it might take a day. Someone mentioned that in the chat. I'm gonna have to make sure that I do my weeklies again for next week as well. Yeah, it might be a bloated one. Hopefully not. Well, there's pros and cons for that. Pros is because, well, you can get everything in one go. But at the same time, you're going to be spending a lot to try to get this thing, and you might be gambling, granted that you can get those selectors. But you would need to pay an X amount to get said selectors, so... I guess it's a trade-off. Alright, so you have the Balvados order. What I would need to do is pick up that client order, go to the cafe, pick up that Whirlpool Shell one, and then go into Coast and kill Bao. Now, a good trade-off, or a very good way of doing it, would be like having it in bundles, like how you guys got the Nier Automata collab one, or some of the fancy lobby actions where you can float in midair and then just like move around left and right, upside down, and all that. Like, they could do something of that bundle for you guys, and that might not be as bad. That would actually be a lot better than trying to go through a gacha and trying to pull like the things you would want, and then also trying to go for pity summons or pity selectors. Like right now, some of the stuff that was released on Japan are going into the billions in the PSO2 market. Now, I don't think, especially with some people saying it's not gonna, it's like those items from PSO2, even though it is NGS worthy, may not be able to carry over to NGS, but we shall see how it plays out. I'm surprised they're not releasing a lot of notes talking about all these snippets. I kind of want to see some of this stuff before it gets released, in terms of the technical things that you would want to be aware of. Maybe they will give a reminder. Oh, the idle animations. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, those are under a code, and I feel like Global might be able to get them. I don't know. Yeah, this character I need to work on because I'm not a big fan of their face. Like this thing right here, it's pretty cute. Oh god, that actually looks alright. Yeah, I need to work on this character's face, looking at it. Oh yeah, you can't see the fingers in action because this is an old PSO2 outfit. Not only that, yeah, this is an old PSO2 outfit. That's why you don't see it. I want patch notes. Oh, hey there, Nino. Wait, did I already say hi? I don't remember. They might be able to release a bit of it before the actual release, because over on the Japanese side, usually when a big update kicks in, they do try to release notes on that. I don't know how Global will do. They might do the same thing, actually. The reason why I bring the AIs with me is because I'm just trying to get fun points. Even though I have a lot of it I can spend willy-nilly, I just like having a good horde of it. Especially if I decide to gift some stuff to some players, it's like I would want to have a good chunk of fun points to easily do that. The animation is on point for the animation though. Yeah, I would need to get on one of my characters that have a PSO2 body. This character doesn't have it, because they have a certain theme that I don't want to get rid of, which is Cuddle Sheep. Okay, where the hell is the... is this way? NGS Quana when? You want me to make a Quana cosplay? Well, the problem is I don't know if I want to make a lot of characters now. Oh shit, this is dead end. I knew it! That means the exit... This is why I don't like these maps. I'm so glad that they're making it open world. I kind of understand what they were coming from and how they were doing things, but still, it just bathers. No, what's the right word? Batters me? No, baffle. Yeah, I'm just baffled at how they didn't really do it actual open world concept. But then again, it could be because it's Phantasy Star and they wanted to just keep everything similar and familiar with Phantasy Star fans. But it would have been nice to actually be on a planet. I'm glad that they're kind of changing it up, but... I mean, it's just a lot of pros and cons with the open world aspects for PSO2. That means now we can actually transverse the damn map. To actually transverse the world in itself compared to being stuck on a ship. And always going to a damn ship. Kawana? Kawana? Did I say Kawana? NGS launcher better have the rodeo dive type 0 or someone catching some hands. I think they'll most likely revamp it so it is something of that or something better. The only thing that a lot of people have a bit of gripes about with the actual combat animations was the canceling, because there were a couple things that you couldn't, or maybe a good chunk of things you couldn't really cancel out of, because once you start a photon action, it's like you're kind of stuck like that, and that's bad because that leaves you a bit vulnerable, especially if you have the power to try to dodge. I don't know if that was on purpose or they will fix that. They might leave it as it is. We shall see. It's dumb how, like, all the old classes are now Scion classes. Like, especially with how Rifle was, it reminds me of Phantom. It wasn't that bad to work with. And Gunner now... Gunner, I think I need to toy around with that one a bit more. But I do like how it is. It's not that difficult for me to kind of fool around with it, but with my setup, and with my hand positions, I would actually need to invest a bit more into it. It's locked behind a skill. Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff you could easily get out of, but some actions I tried to use in the beta, I couldn't really cancel. And that would be bad because, once again, if there's a situation where, like, you have the actual, like, capability to push a button to dodge it, but you can't do it because of the fact that there's an animation. So Sega might fix that, or Sega might leave it as it is and just make that into a thing. I do like the fact that they took out just attacks. Don't get me wrong, I'm okay with them, but in a logical sense, I don't like having to click on a certain pattern. It's like, if I'm shooting a gun, I want to shoot a gun and make sure that I waste all the ammo and bullets if need be. Or just, like, fill them with lead. Like, release an entire clip on them. Not like, pew, 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 and then reload. Although, because there's no such thing as a reloading sort of mechanic in, like, the, what is it, NGS Rangers, yeah, you can fire infinitely with your normal attack. Damn it. Is it bad that I stopped during my weeklies on my alts? It's up to you. It's not that bad, but it's entirely up to you to figure out what you still need to do on PSO2, or if you just get away for NGS. Personally, for me, why I'm doing it is because I have a goal, which is to get a fucking expensive lobby action, but other than that, no. You don't need to do the same thing. Like, if you already completed all your characters, you did all the things you need to do, then that's a different story. The only thing that might bite you in the butt is if you didn't do your mission pass battle pass. Like, I haven't done a lot of mine, and it did bite me in the butt because now this is going to expire on the 2nd, which is like today, or most likely after maintenance. And I can't work on this after that. Or maybe I could, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is I was lazy about it, and that bite me in the butt. And if I did a bit of my dailies, it didn't have to be on all my alt characters, but if I did a couple of it, like, I could have got to the Battle Pass 35. Now, what am I doing on you? Yes, I need to get rid of the equipment, put them all in my storage, and then get rid of the money. So, did you have to do it? If you still need to level up, get a couple keys still, or you just want to do it, well, if we're referring to weeklies, that's entirely up to you. If you don't have as many characters, it's not going to hurt you. If you have a lot of characters, it might, but once again, the ultimate question is, what do you plan to do in PSO2? What are you trying to do with the Meseta, or are you already done? I did do the mission back. I didn't do anything, because I was like, yeah, no, I'm on break. Oh yeah, hopefully they add more weapons over there too. I want to toy around with all the various weapons. I might actually make... I don't think I actually have enough stones to make a light stream for each weapon in-game for every class, but I'll try to make some of the ones that might interest me in terms of their, the classes that I played with. And they are putting Bouncer later on in the game, so, well, Bouncer and then also Braver. So you might still see me play a bit of PSO2, especially do a bit of the 4-man so I can try to get more items. Only has 7 ults. Alright, I feel like you're fine. You're not in any bad position. Like, the bad part too is that I don't know how the market's gonna be upon its release. It could go up and down, especially on the Japanese side. I don't know much about global. I will still have to say, for global PSO2, god, the damn market blinds me. It's so good in terms of, if you know your stuff with the market and you play your cards right, you can be rich off of the damn global market. But if you are a consumer and you are in a bad position and you're forced to buy stuff in the market, I don't know about some of those prices. Not only that, I feel like some of the prices for some of the lobby actions and stuff is pretty tame and nice compared to that of Japan. Like, if people are aware of, like, the big thing about the market as well is if a lot of people know what they're doing in the market and it's like the majority, you're gonna have a hard time trying to exploit some things with the market. I remember when I talked about, it might not have been linked to my video, but when I talked about how you can take advantage of like low slots and then turn it to high slots and then and then spend a bit of Meseta to do that. Like, I saw that the price increased afterwards and people were conscious of it. If I had to go into details, let's say for example you were trying to get like returner abilities, aka veteran resolve over there in global. So some of the prices might be low because it's these things, but if I had to look at something like this, you can see that this one, oh god, this is why I hate the market sometimes. It's at 42 mil. Now, the reason why this is at its price is because of a number of factors. One, it's at 42 mil because people are kind of aware of how good returner translates into NGS. Two, they're hard as fuck to farm for still. Crack 5 is not as bad, but returner is annoying. And not only that, this is just a returner 1. What else? 3, they want to try to make a profit. So it's like 42 mil. So let's look at the price for like maybe a returner 2. Returner 2 is not as bad. You could actually get a lot more by getting this piece here, but you would also have to consider the number of slots. So the previous piece, I think, was 5 slots, 6 slots, so you gotta consider that as well. Then when you look at returner 3, for example, this isn't as bad, but these are at the lower ones. Now, technically, you could... Oh, this person, it's the same person that I was looking at earlier. This person's able to sell, or try to sell 2 of these at 23 mil. Wouldn't be as bad, but that ultimately depends on if it is worth it. But if you don't have time to farm, then that's another thing you got to consider. And it's like, there's a lot of trade-offs and things you got to be conscious of with the market. And that's only on the technical side. In terms of the fashion side, it is a different monster because this would ultimately depend on what someone would want to get and why they would want to get this particular item. Now, hopefully they add, like, mounts into the game since it's open world. It'll be interesting. I want to see an AIS mount, or just ride an AIS and travel through PSO2 NGS with that. Yeah, I'm kind of bad with that. Most Meseta I ever earned is 2.4 billion. Hey, look, you at least hit the billion mark, though. I haven't met anyone that actually had, like, a stupid number. Like, I don't know if I met someone that's, like, at 10 bill. Oh yeah, the other thing with the market too is supply and demand. Like, how many people are actually supplying it? And that can go, like, in a simple way, like, you know, high demand and high supply might go up like this, but this camera view, like this. Okay, let's go like this. It could be like that. But then the problem is the price might be high because it's low supply but high demand. But it can also be high because it's just high. And there's only one item and someone decides to try to control that. So there's a number of factors you gotta be careful when it comes to marketing. All in all, I can just say it in simple terms and say it's gambling. But at the same time, I can also point out the fact that you would want to invest in some low items because, yes, you might not get a lot out of it. But if I spent 1 million and gamble on the fact that this item can go up, and if it does go up, that's great. If it goes down, then boo-hoo. But the thing is, it can grow in due time. So let's say I spent 1 million on a certain item, and that's my down payment. And then the item went down to like 700,000. I'm not getting back the same profit or the same amount of Meseta I put down. So I'm only getting 700,000. So I'm losing 300,000 Meseta. But if I play the waiting game and not sell it when it's so low, then there's a chance that it could go for stupidly high. And if you give it a couple months or something, then boom, that 1 million that you put down could grow into 20 mil. You get back your 1 million, but you also get 19 mil. Which is why, like, I'm not hurting in terms of Meseta on PSO2 side. The only problem is I can't get rid of them because of the buyers. I need buyers, and if there's not a lot of people playing the game, I'm not going to be able to sell as much. But this is like basic 101 stuff. In my opinion, it's a basic 101 stuff because you can see this in other games and you can also see it in real life as well. Stock market and all that jazz. Now, in terms of actual terminology and then doing some other things, it's a different thing as well. But the stock market is completely different because you would need to actually look at the company and its history and then look at the certain ups and downs and actually figure out why it did that. So there's a lot more to it. Compared to a video game where you could just like get it because it's simple. It's a fucking excuse me. It's just giant boobs. Who needs to explain why people would want a giant boob accessory and why that would be expensive? It's pretty straightforward. It's a giant boob one. But then you got to consider competition and some people who might do the same thing, which is like invest in this item because they know a lot of people are going to try to get this giant boob and it will have value because it's a giant boob. So it's so hard to try to do it, and you gotta be careful with mentalities as well, because Global's mentality is so different compared to that of Japan. The prices, especially with the returner, may not be as bad on other ships on Japan, but it's not as low compared to that of Global. But then, once again, all the things that I talked about previously, you gotta be careful because it might take into... That might be a factor, like how there's not a lot of supply, people don't really care. Like, some people value augments and affixes, some people may not. Or there's a saturation of it, and then that decreases the price. So it's so hard to kind of say some things, and every time like, the big mistake was me talking about the stealth camo over there on Global and said invest in that. But because of how easy it is to get it with badges, it's not really a good investment. You can get a bit of Meseta off of it, but it's not going to give you a lot like how it is on the Japanese side. However, I did tell some people to gamble and kind of invest in the recycle badges when it was like 200,000 because that will have a bit of value down the line because of this, and this. And even though they are decreasing, it's not going to that price where you spent like the 200,000. So you're still getting a profit regardless. You're not in the world of hurt pretty much. And it's not that beneficial to try to invest and gamble with some of the recycle badges now because, once again, NGS, augments fixes going down. I mean, it still has value, it's just that in due time, with NGS augments and affixes, it's going to overshadow that, and then people may not be as interested, and price might actually decrease heavily. And demand will be not as high as well. What am I doing? Advanced quest, right. Like, it took me a while to get into the marketing aspect as well and into this mentality. You could thank Ark Survival Evolved for that, because in Ark Survival Evolved, I became kind of a businessman or go-to seller when it comes to selling dinos. Ash says, need more Kratos spam in Japan, PSO2 to generate Meseta, and hope these people buy the stuff you invest in. Yeah. That's another thing too, because of the lack of players, just trying to get stuff in general is worse, and this kind of falls into the fact that people, especially with how people are on the Japanese side, like they're smart. They'll figure out like, oh, so you could easily get a bunch of Meseta with Kratos, that means we should spike prices higher than it's supposed to be. And that's good for anyone who's selling stuff, but it's gonna be a bit tedious, annoying for those who need to buy stuff, and it once again depends on said individual because some people may not have as much time to play the game. They might only have like maybe 2 hours to play the game before they had to go to work or do something, and then in that time span it's like, how much Meseta could I try to earn within that time frame? Some people might play the market, and in all honesty, if you do want to try to save as much real life money and try to spend stuff with in-game currency, you'll most likely have to get into the market. Hey there, Vanilla, how you doing? Yeah, if you were a newbie during this time, it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be as forgiving too, because if you didn't play as much PSO2 content and you, let's say you make an account on PSO2, you go to NGS, you play a good chunk of NGS, but you kind of want to backtrack. You're gonna be spending a lot of resources and time trying to do that, unless Sega makes it easy. Now that's another factor you gotta consider, Sega. And it's kind of hard for Global to do the same stuff that Japan does and make some of the items that are expensive over here expensive over there in Global. You had to consider the time frame as well. And with Global PSO2 going on at 8 times speed, it's not easy to make an item go stupidly high unless it's a limited time item like near automata stuff. Collab items are a definite, like, it's gonna get you money. But how much, it will depend on its demand. But that's always a go-to for me. But in terms of... oh god, I got Bow instead. In terms of like some other items, it's kind of a gamble. A lot of the stuff that I have now, they were in the low digits, like 1 mil and whatnot. But because I waited, most of it is now into 10 bills and whatnot. So I'm getting Meseta regardless. Until I sell all these items. I don't know what to say about Global. I haven't even looked at the market recently over there. But from what I last remembered, it's just that it's all over the place. Like, holy shit. It was like some of it was really obvious, but it was still tame and it wasn't giving you as much. But it could go to the extremes where it was like the stuff that you could sell for augments and affixes were dumb. And when some people talk about budget prices, my 10 mil over on Japan was me like affixing a weapon in 3 unit pieces. Like, that's my 10 mil right there. But over there in Global, when I had to deal with the market, I had to spend so much more. I had to spend I think for 1 piece alone, that wasn't like god tier sort of augments and affixes, like common augments and affixes. I had to spend like 10 mil just to fix 1 unit piece. That bothered me. I take a year for the near stuff to, yeah. If there was a lot of people that kind of had the same mindset of like, oh, collab item, I'm gonna buy it. You got competition and it's gonna be like, there's not a low supply of it, which is gonna increase the demand. And once NGS is around the corner, it's also gonna be hard. So, yeah. I can go on and on about marketing stuff for PSO2. But yeah, it took me a while to actually get used to this marketing concept, because even though I took classes on it, I just didn't really do it. I don't know, I was a hoarder. I was like Mr. Krabs, which is dumb. That too, you could also point to that as well. Like Vanilla says, like Global might be lazy to farm. Which means low supply but high demand of it. There's a lot of factors. Like, the mentality is a big one, and that's why I had to stop myself from trying to advocate certain things. I warned anyone who wanted advice from me and, like, stuff to invest in. I said, hey, look, this is why I'll suggest and toss out there, but it's a gamble. Some people are billionaires now because of what I suggested. What was it? The recycle badges? Some people took my word for it, and they're in a bunch of Meseta right now. And I told them too, like, the moment a lot of people were trying to go for Crag, I told them sell them. Get rid of the recycle badges unless you want to hoard a bit for the, or wait a bit for the limited AC recycle shop. Sell them because it might go down in value. And it may not be as important. I don't know. I don't know about that, Ash. Because the thing is, there's always going to be greedy people. All I'm trying to do is that, 1, I don't want to piss off the greedy people. Because 1, they're going to get mad. But 2, the reason why I don't reveal a lot of exploits, or I indirectly say some stuff, or I don't make it into a huge deal, is because I know the struggles of a free-to-play. I was free-to-play before I started to, well, or spend a good chunk of Meseta for membership. It was hard to actually earn the Meseta naturally. Like, I relied heavily on augments and affixes. Like, a good chunk of it before I just started to invest a bunch of stuff. Like in episode 2 and 3, and even in 4, I used augments and affixes to my advantage to the point where I was able to get so much. And then I did the same when I got back into the game. I sold a lot of my augments and affixes I hoard. I just did a lot of that. And I used some of the money that I earned from that to invest. To get some of this stuff. Or sell... No, buy low and then sell high. Ashes, there are groups running it all the time in Ship 2, Block 723. I mean, at the very least, they are being very proactive about it. So, that means you guys have a way to kind of find this said party and just get X cubes. And then that means Meseta. Because right now, I don't think a lot of people are even doing a bunch of runs on my ship. Like, if I show you what Japanese PSO2 Ship 2 is doing, let's go to all parties. Credo, there's a couple people running Credo over here, but it might just be one party. Yeah, it looks like only one party, even though there's like a boost week going on. It's just one party. And once again, it kind of boils down to the NGS factor. God, I hate saying that. But it's true. Oh, and that too, trying to get some stuff. Seo Nadachi. I just realized I don't know if I've been marking this. Now, the reason why I'm streaming early as well is because I have some plans tonight. Vanilla says, do you like how NGS is going to change the affixes? It's not. So, here's the thing. And I'm still going to reserve my opinions. I'm not going to make an entire video on it yet. Until I start toying around with it. And I might have, like, hours toying around with it. But it's not that, like... The new system in PSO2 NGS, it has a different look, still has the same feel. So pretty much the concept is you're still farming stuff so you can do said process, which is augments and affixes. And when it comes to you getting to a certain percent, you're still stacking it. So it's playing off of stuff that you already know of in PSO2. The only difference is that they dumbed down the RNG. However, there's still cons to a few things. The big thing is it's a trade-off because you're going to go forward, but you're going to be farming a lot more. And that can be good and or bad. A lot of people, especially the one that I did talking about how I actually feel with PSO2 and the augments and affixes, someone mentioned how much it took for them to do this, and this. And they were aware of how to do it. The point of the video, when I gave my final concluding thoughts, was to get over the system. Just do it. And like, yeah, it's a pain in the butt, but just learn the basics. And the guy, he was able to explain everything. So it's like, okay, so you know your stuff. This is not the issue though. The issue that they had was just how much time it took, how many resources they had to dump, and then how much Meseta they had to pour in to do a final fix. Now, my question to them was, why did they go for Crag specifically? And like, you don't really need Crag to do well in PSO2 or in-game content. They, for example, like, they're doing pretty fine without it. Like, they don't even have a Crag set. So, it's like, there are alternatives. It's just that, did you seek these out? And I feel like a lot of people didn't really explore all the avenues and think a bit too hard on it. They did monkey see, monkey do. They see a video that caught their attention. They see a video that's popular. They chased after that concept. The reason why I broke down a bunch of the concepts is so you guys can use that and adapt and be flexible with it. So if you see something that you're not a big fan of, or let's say you see something but you want to tweak it, you have that power and the knowledge to do that. The question is, how many people have said knowledge to do that? It's not rocket science, but at the same time, it's like, it takes a bit to learn it. And maybe you don't really want to learn it, but like, just understand the basics, because once again, it's being played. It's the same concept over there in NGS. You're still stacking. You just need to get the pieces. How do you get the pieces? You either buy them or you farm them. And a lot of people confuse the farming with the affixing. It's like, yes, they do mix together, but they're actually two different things. Farming is just farming. You're getting the pieces and stuff. Affixing is the process and the finalization of it. And yes, you would need the pieces to do it, but they're two separate things. You got to keep them separate. But not a lot of people keep them separate. They kind of confuse the two. They blur the lines. And pretty much most of the times when people talk about the arguments of augments and affixes, it's like, they're bitching about the farming. And I get it. Yeah, I hate farming too, but hey, are you willing to spend so much on the market where you might need to actually dip into your real life funds, or will you actually take some time and actually farm for it? And it's not that bad in this day and era too, because with global you can easily wait. You can play the waiting game, and I mentioned the waiting game, and that might happen over there. Hopefully, the one thing that I really don't want to deal with in NGS as a vet. Now, this is just years of playing PSO2. You pick up on patterns. And it's hard for global to do that because it was skewed, distorted. Like, you could see patterns, of course, but it's like in the view of global. But in the terms of like Japanese PSO2 or the actual year's worth, a lot of the veteran players can pick up on these patterns. They've seen the same stuff over and over again, and they can tell you guys on like some things that they didn't like. And the big thing is like so many ups and downs with class changes and so many repeated patterns that they keep on doing, which can be good and bad. It's bad in my sense because I want to be surprised. I don't want to predict some stuff. And with NGS, they're kind of like, for now, they're backtracking because they're showing they're using a lot of the same concept, especially in terms of classes, augments and fixes, some technical things. They're just reusing it, which isn't bad entirely, but it's just that I want to see more forward things. I want to see new things, new innovations that I haven't seen in other MMORPGs. And like, yeah, they will revive some of the later classes like Bouncer, Braver, and Summoner. Don't know if they're gonna revive some of these Scion classes, but it's like, I don't want to see patterns because you need to wow the players. And the reason why some people get dull and annoyed with MMORPGs or like with PSO2 maybe is because they see same patterns. A lot of my pals dropped the game because they saw the same patterns. Same sort of emergency quest with a boss fight where they made it obvious where you can destroy these things, and this is how you open it up. It's hard for me to really enforce it because, especially if you only played on global, you don't have the same years of experience of a vet. And this is why you have to be careful of how you see someone and how someone describes himself as a vet. Can they prove it? And do they have that credibility? And are they really genuine about being quote-unquote a vet? Because someone could say that they're a vet, but they only go on and off, and they didn't play the game as thoroughly and seen these changes. This is why I tried to be in the moment. The reason why I played on the NGS beta was because I wanted to be in the moment to see these differences, to actually experience it, be in it. But yeah, it's like the system is pretty straightforward. It's not gonna be RNG heavy, but you're still gonna have to farm. So I'm kind of neutral with it. Some people are glad about it, but I don't think they know that it's still gonna be the same thing. Just once again, different look, same feel. And the thing is, you still gotta apply the fact that it's an MMORPG. There's gonna be RNG involved, good and or bad. If they want to make it easy, oh well. Like, I would say that out of all the games that I played, PSO2 is pretty tame in terms, like, it wasn't tame in the beginning, but eventually they start to get... They made it a bit easier upon the later episodes. Like, episode 4 and onwards, it's a lot better. It wasn't as grind heavy like it was back then in episode 1, 2, and 3. Because holy shit, you had to farm for everything. You could not buy anything. And I really had to stress that out because when Microsoft released Global, I was there on Global's release. You had to, like, you guys had access. If you were playing on Global, you had access to the market. You can buy your 13 stars. You can buy, like, some of the high-end units and weapons, the gear. It's entirely up to you if you want to buy it. Obviously, it wasn't well fleshed out, and obviously there's going to be more to it later. But that's the thing you got to note. You could easily buy it. Back in Japanese PS2 in 1 and 2, you couldn't buy it. You had to be a premium for that, and you had to actually trade in a high rarity weapon to do that. And not only that, you couldn't get the highest rarity. At the time in episode 2, 12 stars were being introduced, I think, and they were the highest rarity. And they were really hard. In episode 3, they had to actually change the drop rate for 12 stars. Because the 13 stars were dropping a bit better compared to that of the 12 stars. But even then, you had to get it. And the reason why it was a pain is because if you had a certain style, you really had to go for that certain weapon, or you're stuck with whatever you got. So if you have a playstyle where you like to get up close and personal, and you want to get benefits off of that, you would need to find that particular weapon. We didn't have SSAs, where you could easily have a bunch of perks and easily get action or an ability that can do that. First 2 years of Japan, oh god. Well, I did join the game a bit late. I joined in 2014, so I can only vouch. I strongly remember 2014 all the way up to 2016. And holy shit, I had to farm a bunch. And people were crazy about stuff. Like, X-Cubes, holy shit. Like, X-Cubes is like a pest, a nuisance over here. They have value still, don't get me wrong. It's just that we literally valued X-Cubes and fun points back then. Oh god, Fresh Find got you 400. Oh yeah, to take that out, thank god. Hopefully they keep everything the same over there in NGS as well. Chronic says, I just want something yes, I want something entirely new. I don't want patterns. I don't want to see anything that reminds me of PSO2. Wow me with new things. Wow me with mounts. Wow me with an AIS. Wow me with like a marriage. Actually, I'll retract that. I don't know how I feel about a marriage system. Maybe a housing system instead of a room system. Like, there's so much possibilities they have with NGS. I just hope that they actually do something new. I don't want to see repeated patterns. I just realized we killed an Orc Bland instead of a goddamn Balvados. Yeah, Hunter. How do I feel about Hunter? Hunter is still kind of the same. It's just that you still had to go close up and personal with it. And I would need to just be a bit familiar with. I don't know. Is it big and chunky sword? I would have to play a bit more with Hunter. I think the 2 classes that I know that I'm definitely going to be trying to get into. Gunner, Fighter. Those are the 2 big ones that I would want to get back into again. Ranger is kind of the obvious default kind of easy class for me to get into, since I did main Phantom for a while, and it's not that difficult to just get into Phantom. I mean, fucking rifle. I am willing to try out the launcher though. It's been a while since I played with launcher. Last time I played launcher was back in episode 3 era. Granted that I wasn't the best of launches too, or well, Rangers. Back then in episode 3, being a ranger was like hardcore. You had to know your stuff or you get called out. Some people will like literally chew you out for like putting a weak bullet on a butt. Is that full tank? Oh shit, it is full tank. Oh wait, full tank doesn't know who I am. Marriage? I don't know. I kind of tossed it out there, but I don't know how I would feel about that. I don't know if I would want a marriage system. If there's a marriage system, the question is who's going to try to marry me, and I'm not a big fan of that. Technically, I would just marry myself, but I don't think that's a possibility. Hex says, I want to try Gunner Hunter in NGS. I think some people did really strange combos that reminds me of the good old days. Oh wait, this is Scar too. What's Scar doing online? The hell? Did I not get a notice with Scar? Yeah, I think my sister was home too, so that means the time is now like 5:30-ish. Okay, what am I doing? I'm looking through all of these things, so... I want a harem system? For the passes, I see. Okay, so I think this character has stuff. Okay, so like this character is the one that hoards my hairstyles and a couple of things. If I look at these items in themselves, they're really dumb. They used to be cheap, but they're dumb now. They are. Oh wow, that one's actually pretty high up there. What I could do is just buy that, gamble on 30 mil, sell it at 50 mil, and then start having it be just like extinct and just go at a dummy price. But that ultimately depends on like the people that might want to try to buy it. But yeah, a lot of these things that used to be at 1 mil is, oh my fucking god, why is this at? This hairstyle is this much. God. Yeah. So the only bad problem is like, the thing about, I guess I had to go through a different character to talk about it and show it with the customization. It's just that it's a gamble to try to go for some old previous stuff like that. Like, it'll have some worth, but you won't be able to mix a PSO2 hair with a PSO2 NGS face. So, the next character I will most likely go on would be Bella. Because Bella was the one character that I didn't mind toying around with in terms of the NGS face. Oh god. I wouldn't mind having a harem system. That'd be silly if Sega decides to implement that, but I'll give them a... I don't know, I'll dump a bunch of money on them if they do it. OPAOE. Heck no, Hunter sub, you're trolling. Kun's like, Sega posted a video earlier showing new combat zones, and yeah. So, I'm interested in seeing a lot of the other things as well. I just need to prep some of this stuff. So, pretty much, I wasn't really confused with the overhaul over here since Japanese PS2 implements like these changes. I think they fixed the character creation as well, so you can still keep your stuff that you have. There's a good chunk of it that I have over here. I could criticize how stupid I was in the past in terms of the look and how long it took for me to realize I had to actually literally toy around with some of this fashion stuff. But yeah, let's talk about the NGS things. So, over here on PSO2, we only have the male default one, or the base face type. Wait. So apparently there's a 1 and then there's a 2. Not a big fan of the 2, as you can see. It is really stupid looking. Well, some people might say otherwise because, you know, everyone has their own taste. But for me personally, I'm not a big fan of it being too anime-ish like. If I had to go back to this character's default face, some of my characters just stick with like, some of my characters kind of most of my characters might have toyed around with one face variant. I'm not going to show the actual specs with Sherelle and Zell, because I cherish them, and I do not want to have anyone try to imitate them 100% correctly. Or just copy it. Because it took me ages to figure their actual things. But for this character, she's pretty much like a Newman, an elf. And I use the refresh look. Now, in my opinion, the refresh look on PSO2 is kind of your basic anime go-to sort of thing. And that can be good and or bad. It's kind of an easy way to go into like a nice looking face without having to do as much. That's the payoff for it. But note that this is just my opinion. So like this refresh face sort of thing, it's like, it's not that bad. You can literally toy around with it and have it. But what was it? In NGS, that one face that they have, other than the base face type 2, that other face reminds me of this sort of face. Now, base face type 2, I'm not a big fan of because you really have to work with it. And I just don't like how it looks. It might look a bit better. No, it didn't even look better over there in PSO2. I went for the other face instead. But this is just my opinions. Like, you guys might say otherwise. Like, for me personally, I'm not a big fan of, like, if I get rid of this damn thing. Let me get rid of the chewing gum. It's in the way. Actually, there should be a button to just get rid of it. Yeah, the thing about this is just like, I don't know, I just don't like it. Like if I were to work with this face and try to get it to have like a sharp look, or at least like I don't know, a hexagon sort of, well, no, pentagon sort of shape to it, I really have to toy around with it, and it's like I gotta actually go to the max with this one to do that. It might be the eyes that are throwing me off as well, but granted that you would need to get the certain stuff to work with it. It's like, for these eyes, I'm not really... I guess that's the thing too, I forgot that you could do that. Maybe I forgot to toy around with this, that's why I had a bit of issues with the thing. Like, if I really toy around with it, maybe I can get the certain look that I was going for. I don't know, maybe it's just too simple, that's why I was annoyed with it. I do have some NGS stuff, so as you can see, with me playing around with this, you can't really use NGS with PSO2. You cannot use that NGS with the PSO2 eyebrows and stuff. You actually had to get NGS stuff. So I have a bit of it from doing a couple scratches here and there. Maybe it's because of her nose and her mouth that's throwing me off. Maybe. I don't know. I'm stern about certain things, and I can't put my finger to why I'm not a big fan of this particular face. You could definitely work with it, but I don't know. In terms of pupils. Crisp, Dumans, have a couple eyes. Yeah, I feel like you might need to get a lot of other things so you can actually flesh out your character. So you would need the makeup, you would need the, I don't know, it's so... Maybe it's the eyes. Maybe it's all these other things. Shading bothers you. Maybe it's because of that too. I don't know. It's just that I know that the base one, I really have to poke at it and get a bunch of stuff for it to work. But pretty much, it's like... Alright, let me cancel the edits and then go back in here. I might need to actually go on Zill and show... Do I really want to show... I said I wasn't going to show that. Most likely, I'll just zoom in on the face. So yeah, as you can see, I'm using the refresh one, and then it's like, you can definitely work a bit more with it, along with the eye shapes and all that. They didn't really flesh out the eyelid heights and stuff. That is a plus side to the NGS. But I mean, you could do the same over here. It's just that you had to physically toy around with this. Could be because of the pupils as well that threw it off. I just... You really had to work with that base one. Now, with this character, I need to rework them. I am still trying to figure out her theme. A lot of my characters, I already fleshed them out in my head. They have a bio and stuff, but Bella Luna, I kind of try to go for the Asian look, sort of, with her, with light green hair. But at the same time, it's like, I kind of want to rework them to have something else. They might be reworked into NGS style stuff when I get into NGS. Tipo from Breath of Fire. Who's Tipo? Okay, let me look at that reference. Tipo. Oh, really? Huh. Interesting. Alright, going back to this though. Yeah, there's like so many things you gotta get. And the question is, how easy is it to acquire and how much are you gonna be spending for it? I have a bit of it because I did pull for the NGS scratches. Not a big fan of the NGS scratch animation, but that's just me as well. What do I need to do? Go to my room, desynth, go to the client order, get the 100,000, go to the cafe, get the other 100,000, and then go do bow. But yeah, like, you gotta be careful with the NGS. Like, you can't have a PSO2 face with an NGS body, but just note that it might change with the story cutscenes because it is in NGS terms. And then also with the, with the outfits, like you can still use PSO2, but they won't be able to show up in the cutscenes. If I remember, it said notes. But yeah, all those little snippets that makes up the face, you can't mix the PSO2 to NGS one. The only one thing that I remember is the hair. The hair, you can actually mix PSO2 hair with the NGS face. I don't think it's vice versa though. You can't mix the NGS hairstyle with the PSO2 face. And what quest is this? VR, mining. It's either morning or it's mining. Either way, I'm not doing it because I got weeklies. Yeah, it's just that like you really need to start all over again. If you really want to toy with the NGS face, you're gonna have to get the stuff. Now, I would recommend most likely the other face that was in the beta and use that one instead of the first one if you want to have an easygoing look, unless you are okay with the first one and you have a certain style that you will want to use. Like, I'm not using the NGS face because of that. I think a lot of my characters will be able to convert to that NGS face, the other one. But my two main characters, Zillion and Sharel, they're both gonna be... It's gonna be hard. I might need to cop out into that style or into that face. But at the same time, I still want to keep the stuff that I did with PSO2. I don't know. It's just that I wish there was a bit more face variations. It might not be the face variations in themselves that might be a problem. It's just that I might need to get the certain stuff again to make it as it is. And once again, hopefully they don't take advantage of the face variations and just like add a bunch of it through like paywall means. That's gonna be something to talk about later too, isn't it? Alright, see you around, Kun. Thanks for stopping by. I guess I could bring that up. Why not? It looks like there's a lot of different animations as well. You got different running animation, climbing wait, I don't think it's climbing, it's jumping animations. You got swimming animations. They're gonna put that behind paywalls most likely. Now, the question is, can you get some of these items through the player market and use Meseta? Hopefully. But right now, with all the stuff that they're releasing in the beginning, it's like limited edition, limited time, founders pack and all that, so it might not be sellable. And it's like, yeah, and most of the animations soon might be a bonus scratch item as well, so bonus items you can't really sell, and that might be another issue. I don't know, it depends on how Sega executes it. PK says you can use NGS hair with old face. Oh, you did. Okay, so I was wrong about that. Thanks for correcting me, PK. I thought you couldn't, huh? Looks like I need to go on Sharel and test that out later. Or who's using NGS body? Wait, I already turned in my... Damn it! I didn't get that again. I'm just gonna stab you with this sword. I'm surprised I'm still using my Atlas. Alright, don't need to play this out. Get out of here. Alright, so how much... I don't even remember if I gave you the Balradil sword. Do you have that? I think that's what I was looking at. Yep, you do have it. How many capsules do I have? That's the one thing that I'm kind of annoyed with. The capsules. I need to get them. Now, I could use Meseta to get them, but at the same time, I'm being very stingy about it. Because I don't want to waste Meseta trying to get it, but at the same time, I don't want to try to deal with RNG and try to farm it that way. They should make the drop rates easier for these capsules, but they haven't. Or maybe it's just that I use so many boosters, or it's just that I just have a better drop rate and they just like drop in all these other things other than capsules. Oh, speaking of, I need to make sure that I actually spent some stuff. Abby says, so you're going to continue to avoid digging into the serious topic of the death? Here's the thing, I can't say that yet. Because, yes, they did release a bunch of notes saying they're going to kill off a lot of things. They're going to change a lot of things. But I would have to see if they really did kill it upon the release of NGS. Because, once again, the thing is, are people going to backtrack? And are people going to be interested in playing the story of PSO2? Now, if they're all going to be playing on NGS and not backtrack, then I feel like they did kill it off. Then I might make a video talking about it. Like, it's too early for me to actually say that, because we have to see if they're doing that. Like, right now, for Japan, and it's also hard to say that, because it depends on how long you've been playing the game. If you're on the Japanese side, a lot of vets can easily say, like, we're done with it. And yeah, that means it's killed off, it's dead. A lot of people would want new changes and want these new things and see if they can be wowed by it. If they already burned through everything in PSO2, there's no point in trying to go back to PSO2. Now, for Sega, this is a gamble. But for Global, this will be a different story, because some people literally stop playing the game because they're waiting for NGS, and they might want to go back and play the story content and stuff. And that takes some time to do it, depending on the schedules on that. But the other question is, how many people are going to just try to play the game, or play NGS, but then they're a bit curious to PSO2 and go back to it? So, some vets, like, I can say that I don't need to backtrack. Well, I need to finish up the story, which is what I'm going to do this week. But in terms of, like, anyone else who had thoroughly played PSO2 throughout their time span, like, they could easily say, yeah, we're done with PSO2. To keep it around and whatnot, that's ultimately up to Sega and whatnot. But for a bunch of new players, or maybe some returning OGs, they might want to still play it out or something, or they might be curious. So it's not like they really killed it off, but in terms of content, they could definitely do that. It's also, once again, a gamble on Sega, and they might change their plans, because if something bad happens, they're going to go back to maybe PSO2, or they might just leave it as it is. I don't know. There's a lot of unknown factors. I can't really say that. And I don't really want to push that concept yet, because you got to consider that, like, in that moment. And then also see if it is going to be a thing. So if people don't go back to PSO2 after, like, NGS release, and they all stay on PSO2, then yeah, I could mention the death of PSO2. Well, the only... It's still something. I mean, once again, we gotta see. Because it depends on how it all plays out. I'm not going to do my 2 cents about it yet, but when the time comes, you will see a video talking about it. But I don't like to jump the gun. Well, I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I sometimes do that. But it's good or no bad. It's not... It's like, for this purpose, like, in terms of this topic, I'm not going to do that yet. Like, yeah, they killed off a lot of stuff, but that does not mean PSO2 is utterly dead, because the story is still going to be around, and it's going to be something. And you can still do triggers, you can still do some things. It's just that giant updates and scheduled EQs, it's like going to be dead most likely. Maybe we'll still have EQs, but it's randomized. I don't know. So, I'm not going to do a video on it just yet. What was I doing? Weeklies, right. And I was just walking around, running around, and need to put away the money. And if it is dead, then I would need to also make my review video for this game. Worst case scenarios, NGS flops, and they go, yeah. Like, I need to see how it plays out. Like, I don't want to make a video about it yet. I don't know. Like, apparently they released a good chunk of notes about it. I'm just saying that there might still be stuff to play with. They still will most likely lead to triggers as they are. Stories gonna be left as it is. Like, you can still play PSO2, it's just that a lot of the stuff that we're used to, or the things that were updated, or at least the main things that kick in are not going to be as relevant anymore. Like, scheduled EQs might, like, it's not going to be scheduled anymore because you might be focused entirely on PSO2 and PSO2 NGS. You might see a lot more focus on, like, other, like, it's just like, I need to see it kick in. And once again, it's going to be hard for me to call it the death of PSO2 when there's going to be a lot of variables to play around with for both sides. Because Japanese players can easily say, well, yeah, we're done with it. If they thoroughly burn through it. There might be some returnees or some new players that haven't really played it and they really want to get into PSO2 and understand that before going into NGS. Or maybe at least poke and toy around with some of the stuff that is in PSO2. Granted that, I don't know, it depends on if it really benefits them and all that. Yeah, seasonal stuff is going to be automatic, so we'll see a bunch of those. Yeah, that might... Like, creative's going to be the go-to for, like, Meseta farming. Compared to, like, doing weeklies. And also, it depends on if people want to make multiple characters. A lot of the things that got finalized is like not going to be the same thing over there in NGS, maybe. I don't know. I feel like they could have added so many other things in NGS as well, so not going to go too heavy into this topic anymore. The soft-skinned. The soft-skins Kirito's that the masses very much outweigh those who casually play PSO2, especially for how really hype. True. But, I'm gonna do it in the right moment. I don't feel like it's the right moment to do it. Like, when NGS is released, and then I see all these things, then I might mention it. But right now, it's like, people are still playing the game. Well... It's hard to vouch that for the Japanese side. But I know over there in Global, there's still a fair amount of people who are still trying to do stuff. But anyways, enough of me chatting away about this. I think, what else can I talk about? What did you guys do on Memorial Day? Did you guys go out? Did you guys have barbecues? All I did was sit in bed and read mangas. Yuri mangas. Well, I was reading Solo Leveling. I found a light novel for that. Or the web light novel, so I'm going to be reading that every now and then. I caught up to Solo Leveling. I didn't realize they updated the fucker. I was like so stoked and hyped, and I was engrossed in the damn action that it had. What other things did I read? I read a bunch of other mangas along with that on this one website. There was this one particular manga that reminded me of a story that I read in this other site. And then I started to read a bunch of Yuri mangas. And then I was dumb enough to read the stupid Yuri one that was like with the insects or the island filled with goddamn monsters. Like, holy shit, why did I read that? It's stupidly dumb, but I just decided to read it because I was already familiar with it. I was like, I'm in the shit show, I'ma read it. Oh god, oh god, I got. I remember how atrocious it was. Work and more work. Oh. I do 12-minute TPP out of boredom. Oh god. Wait, are you on... I feel like you're on the Japanese side. It's not that bad on Japanese side with, like... well, I mean, even then, like... Now Netflix could be alright, too, but... Like, the runs on Japan aren't as bad. depending on what ship you're on, and depending on block and other factors. But I remember the time with global is, oh god, it's it is so, oh god, 30-40 minutes runs on TPD. No, please. But yeah. Yeah, I'm annoyed with how some of the stuff that I forgot about with some mangas that I read, and it's like, oh, I remember this title. Oh, they updated it. And then when I read it, it's still not finished. I get mad. You fuckers have like years worth, and you didn't finish this damn thing. Damn. I have the recording of that. Global ship one. Ah, okay. Oh. I don't know. I had painful runs. That's all I can say. And that's the only thing that I remember clearly. Actually, no. I lie. Like, some of the good runs that I had was with most of the teams that I visited and with, like, a bit of you guys. But other than that, I had horrible, horrible runs with randoms. You want this outfit? Oh, yeah, it's NGS related. Well, I mean, it's also PSO2, but the NGS one is a lot shinier, and they definitely highlighted the the body with it. Especially with this character, because I did make them as a joke character where they had a lot of maxed out feminine parts. Granted that they're a midget. Not a lolly, they're a midget. They used to be my summoner too, but with NGS around the corner, I have no clue if I plan to toy around with that. I'm being like so brain dead lazy with this. Okay, where is you? You go. Where is it, Rosa? Hopefully you guys, you get the NGS outfits. I just had like 2 runs like that. One took me 30 minutes, the other one's 48 minutes. People were literally doing ungrind. Oh god, why? Why? Look. I don't think it'll be difficult to just have like a plus 30 15-star weapon to go into like ultra hard content. You don't need to have a Nox. Maybe the concept of like harsh and hard in MMORPGs are just skewed nowadays. Or maybe people don't view PSO2 as an MMORPG. I think John's, one of their runs was like 50 minutes or something. I don't know. There's like so many death counts as well. I'm just shaking my head. Wait, did I not get the... No, I did get the Meseta. Oh wait, did I kill the... Oh yeah, I did kill the Rados. I don't know. I had a, like, very painful time with some randoms. You can solo at that point. Yeah, pretty much. There were a couple of people that soloed the trigger and just, like, did it in that time, 40 to 50 minutes. I still need to beat, like, the only few... So, my 3 objectives is this. For PSO2 still. Do the story. I need to get through that. Second one is to... This one's actually pretty optional, but I could try to go and complete Death 100. Now, I need to change my playstyle because I might want to get accustomed to 3-click. Then, the third one, and this is just whenever I can do it before NGS is finished, prep for NGS stuff. But other than that, well, fourth one, PR Pose 5. After that, I'm pretty much done. Why am I next to Monica? Oh yeah, I guess objective number 5, draw Monica or Monica and her fucking emote that I have in stores. Oh god, don't remind me. I remember I was just sitting in my chair, staring at all those deaths, watching John laugh like a maniac, and I was just like crying in the background. It hurts to remember and vividly remember the stupid death count on that one. Like, how? Why? And this was like a couple days after TPD got released too. Oh my god. I still have to like... I don't know. Oh god. Let's not talk about that one. Let's not talk about death counts. Let's go into happier times. Actually, what's a happy time? I don't know. I'm trying to think of a happy time, but my brain is not figuring out a happy time on PSO2. The only time I remember that was happy was like me hanging out with the B6ers back in the days. Oh gosh. Oh, this game, there's like so many history and I can't... I don't feel like a video would do it justice if I talk about all the good moments that I had in PSO2. It's hard for me to even show some of this stuff too because I didn't record it. There were like so many things I remember in the past. Like I wish I could have recorded moments where Tank just like stood in the middle back then and tanked fucking losers time stop. It was impressive to see that moment, and that's why I actually made a tank build with in PSO2, regardless of its merits and like if it's viable and if it's doable and if it's a good thing to do. I just did it because I wanted to, because of what Tank did. Remember the times when like a lot of us in the B6 days just hung out in B6 and just shared a bunch of ideas, talked to a bunch of random strangers, helped them out, and we just like created a group, a community because of that. I also remember the time with like how I went about augments and affixes and how painful that was to try to understand it at first. I kind of wish I recorded how I tried to process augments and affixes back then. It was like, I was literally struggling with how people were trying to explain it. And then when they tossed a fix simulator, it was like, I took at least a couple hours to just poke at it and be like, oh, okay, so this is how it's done. This is what I could do. And then just share the idea with my master and be like, oh yeah, this is how I did it. And then I gave him ideas where he actually got a lot richer than what he used to be. He took my ideas. Or my suggestions. I wish I recorded how painful it was to actually do extreme quests back then. God. I wish I recorded the farming aspect of trying to get an austere back then in episode 3. Kind of wish I recorded the moments of trying to get into an MPA back in Japanese PSO2 with Anga. It was like so many things. I wish I recorded the Magatsu bullshit that we did as well. Plot twist, B6 never happened that. It was all a figment. Oh no, we're not doing that. I remember there was a manga that decided to pull that bullshit on us. On me and my brother. My brother and I. Like, it was called Garden of Eden? Eden of Garden? What is it? I think it was called Garden of Eden. Like, it was a survival of, Survivor manga that I read? Yeah. Oh, Cage of Eden. There we go. Cage of Eden. I read Cage of Eden. It was so good. I liked it. The survivor aspect was, like, up there. Like, a lot of people, like, fighting for their lives and all that. I really liked it. And then it decided to just do a tease at the end. And it decided to go to that route, which was like, oh, it went to like the mom's, the main character's mom's perspective where it's like, oh wait, no. Spoilers! 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 Before I go any further with this, if you are planning to watch Cage of Eden, or read, I don't even know if it's an anime. If you plan to read the manga for Cage of Eden, like, block your ears for a couple seconds because I'm gonna have to bitch about this. Hey there's Ass, how you doing? But I'm gonna bitch about like the ending for Cage of Eden. So I advise you guys, if you are reading that and you don't want spoilers, like, ignore me for a bit. And then Senpai says, has anyone seen the PS2 anime? I seen the episode 4 one. Wait, what am I doing? I don't remember what I was doing. Alright, so... Alright, here's the thing about Cage of Eden. It's like a survival... It's a high school survival manga where, you know, kids get crashed out on an island. They gotta survive, deal with a bunch of abnormalities, like a bunch of strange beasts, and then some other survivors here and there. At the very end, they decide to cop out because the mom of the main character, she was imagining it all. She somehow imagined her son and all his friends going on this fucking adventure. So it made it sound like it was just a dream. And I hated that. I was like, what the fuck? What? You can't do that! But they did it. I don't know if it is real, because they did show like a bit of what they still need to do, but it annoyed me that they did that sort of thing. It was like, are you fucking kidding me? Now, in terms of the PSO2 anime, I haven't seen the Oracle one. I need to get through episode 3, then I might marathon PSO2 Oracle for that. But I seen the PSO2 episode 4 animation. That was a shit show. I'll be blunt. It wasn't the best of things. I would put it below average. Actually, I might call it even trash. It didn't do a lot of the fleshing out on some of the characters from PSO2. It just showed a bunch of new characters that are pretty much like high schoolers and stuff going on this on like their own things, but it's like, I don't know, none of the characters are likable. I didn't like it. Didn't make me feel anything for them. I just watched it because I started it. I started the shit show. I wanted to end it. I'm still here. Oh god, I'm here like just trying to remember what was the premise of it. Actually, I don't remember anything at all. I don't remember anything about the episode 4 animation. The only thing I remember was Judy saying, "Ha, you don't have the luck." That's all I remember. Oh god, that burns my head. Now I'm running around like a dummy because of that. Maybe I should have talked about very dumb animes. Actually, no. Now I'm going on that track. It's too late. Another dumb anime I remember watching was something that talked about front tails on penguins. Hold up. Let me pull up that anime. What is that anime called? Front Tails Penguin Minions. Let's get to pull up the anime name of this damn thing. So, well, whatever this anime is called, Kinzon Robo Diodala? I don't know why I watched it. I remember my brother and I just saw a few episodes of this, and then we were like, YOLO, fuck it, we're gonna watch this. And it was... It's not the best anime, obviously, and it's something that you shouldn't watch if you want to keep your brain cells. Fucking front tails bullshit. That says, could I get unbanned from Discord? Someone got the inch you give them and ran with it. Well, from what the moderator told me about why there was a ban on you, Zaz, it was due to how you were putting a bunch of memes in a bunch of the different sections when you were told not to. I could unban you, but the question is, are you gonna behave yourself with that? It's a small little thing, but yeah, like that's apparently the thing that kind of irks someone. So if you're able to control the memes and just put in the right sections, then I'll unban it. What about the anime you were watching? Oh, well, you see, once again, I was an idiot. And I was talking about that anime earlier, Abby, because I did the 3-episode reel, and that thing can go to fucking hell. There's a lot more to it. I read the light novel for it, and the anime most likely will follow what the light novel did. And it was too early for me to actually do a lot of the things. And not only that, it does a lot of the things that I advocate in my live stream that kicks in 86. Granted that it's not done in the best of ways, like how there's so many other animes that can do it so a bit better, but in terms of how they did it, I do like the thing that they did, and I'm gonna most likely give 86 a shot again. It was kind of wrong for me to do that 3 rule bullshit, so it was just me bitching in the moment, like I said. In terms of the characters, I feel like only a few characters are gonna be fleshed out in. They did the certain thing that they did in the anime that's gonna be revealed later on in later episodes, and then not only that, from what the light novel, from what I read in the light novel, is following that sort of pattern. So it's like, you really had to give it a shot, and this is why I don't like 3-episode fucking rules. I get it because, what was it? I get it because of the, what was it, your time, and you don't want to waste time on it, but at the same time, it's like, some animes do need to be fleshed out like that. Especially if it has a giant plot. And I only read up like through like 3 of its seasons, so I'm kind of mad about that. Or 3 books, well, I don't remember the damn chapters. But pretty much, I didn't get into the meat of 86, because it's still building up from where I last stopped at, or what was last translated. And it annoyed me, because it was like, give me more. So yeah. But yeah, Zaz, if there's an issue, like, make sure to just, like, DM me about it as well. Like, if there's anyone that's unbanned, I mean, if there's anyone's banned, and you're wondering about some things, like, just shoot me a DM. It might not show that I'm active, but just shoot me a DM, and then we'll discuss about it. Like, if you don't shoot me a DM, or, like, bring it up to the surface, then I'm not gonna be stern about it, but yeah. But yeah, the thing about 86 is that I want to give it a shot again. Like, I feel like there's a lot more to it than what I gave. Yeah, like, it's... I feel like there's a lot... once again, I need to see the other episodes. And I can't... Once again, you gotta consider mediums as well. It may not be able to portray a lot of things. Like, especially with what I read from the translations and in the light novel, it didn't really play out the scenes to scene. And in the anime, like, especially in the first 3, like, the bath scene, for example, it was hilarious on how they did it in the anime that I liked. Compared to that of the light novel, where they didn't really do what they did in the anime. What else? The anime could also do a huge spin on things and actually gradually show some action compared to that of what the light novel did. Unless I wasn't reading a good light novel translation of it, since I found it up online and stuff. Because the big thing is they did a lot of time skips in the light novel. Because I was confused about where half of the damn people were. But then it kind of explains why they did a certain thing that they did with the anime. Yeah, it's like... Once again, I need to give it a shot. I'll most likely make a separate video talking about my thoughts about 86. Like, looking at Claymore, I watched a video that kind of wrapped up a bunch of things. I might need to read it myself. But Claymore... Claymore's just big. There's a lot of chapters to it. Claymore. How do I feel about Claymore? 1, it's gruesome. 1, it's action-packed. Has a different feel of it. A lot more underlining tones to it. Like, 86 can be very simple. Especially once you understand, like, the motives behind these people and the reason why they do some things. The reason why I like 86 is because of how it actually flesh out character development through certain means. Like, I'll give 86 a shot again. I want to watch it. Might not be the best, but I want to watch it. I wouldn't call it the worst. Like, I wouldn't put it down there as in, like, this is brain dead, like something that will definitely waste my time. But it's something that I'll get into again. I would say that it's not as grand like how some other animes are, where you could definitely fall in love with these characters because of their build-up and their development. 86 is a bit of a weird one because you have to be in their kind of like you gotta be in their shoes, and it's like, how else are you gonna help them when they already lost? I can't go into it because it's spoilers. Damn it. I'll leave that as a separate video, and then if you guys have seen it, read the light novels, or seen the anime, we can get into a discussion, but I'll leave it there with that anime. What other things? But yeah, I was kind of reading the mangas a lot. I was looking through all the new Yuri mangas I have not heard about, and there's a good chunk of them where it's like, I forgot about this thing, and I need to reread it. There was like this one that I really like that I was rereading, and I forgot all about it, and then it just hit me with a bunch of feels, and then it hit me with more feels when it's like on to be continued status. Fucking dramas. Here's the one rule of thumb: if you want to catch my attention, talk about Yuri, then I'll most likely look into it. If you don't know what Yuri stands for, it's pretty much girl on girl. Lesbians. Like, I'm a big sucker for that. Talk about a video game. You want me to try out a video game? You bring up some Yuri. Yeah, I'll look into it. Well, okay, no, this is not... Where's my damn window? I thought I had a window thingy that displayed something. Oh, there it is. No, I'm hitting wrong buttons. Hold up. My brain is derping on me. Boop. Alright. Also, since I'm streaming again, I'm also making sure that the connection is stable. It looks fine. Getting hit while I'm trying to set this up again. There we go. Destiny Hurry 2. Please. Wait, is that an anime? I don't think that's that. I never heard of that. Cross Angie. Why do I know that one, though? So, like, bloody action sort of anime or mangas I've read still, and I'm still reading. Berserk is one of them. Claymore, I didn't finish it, manga-wise, but I watched a video that kind of concluded it all and brought me up to speed with what happened. I forgot about it, because it was on a TBC status, to be continued status, when I first looked into it, or when I was reading it at that time. Wait, why did I pull up a different tab? I blah 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 blah. Oh, Cross, that one. I feel like I heard that one. Have I seen this? I don't feel like I've seen that one. Huh. I think I heard about it, though. I think I heard about it, yes. I have not seen that. Anyways. I'm getting distracted. I should run through these. Oh, gosh. But yeah, the big thing is, I'm actually in the writing mood. I do write my own stories, and I don't know if I ever got into heavy details about that. If you want to know what I write, it is in my Discord. It is on the... What is it? It's on the very top area with my stream notice and stuff. One of them is like my Dark Inheritor story, and then the other one's my Pandora box one. Now, I did another story, but I decided to discontinue it because on that website, it does not allow such explicit, graphic, 18+ content. Psychopaths. I do need to get around to that too. I heard so many good things. Like one of my all-time favorites is pretty much Kogias. Actually, okay. I guess I'll share at least 2 of the animes that's on my very top list. And now one of them is gonna be a giant question mark, because a lot of people could say it's also shit, but it's because of the things that I can kind of like remember and relate to. One of them is Kogias. That is on my high up list. The second one is Guilty Crown. Now you might be scratching your head out that one and be like, what the hell? Why that one? And that's personal reasons to why I like it, which I am not going to disclose. Now I'm trying to remember some other animes that were high up there for me. But those are the 2 big ones I can name. Like, a lot of the things that I really liked, I kind of criticized it a bit harsher, and it kind of went down it was okay, it was something that I did not have any qualms with. Like, a Kagami got killed, for example. I like the character development and its execution, but in terms of the story and plot, it's pretty straightforward. It's nothing too grand compared to, like, that of Kogias. Granted that I'm also doing it in terms of, like, what I saw in the manga. Yeah, see? Like I said, personal reasons. I'm not going to get into that one. But it just hits me hard with the Guilty Crown hits me hard with that. And once again, I'm already aware of how, like, shit it can be. I'm aware of how shitty it is in terms of, like, some of its aspects. But it hits me on a personal level. And like I said, I'm not going to go into details about that. That's why it's actually up there on my list. But in terms of, like, if I had to do an actual critique and stuff, I wouldn't put it up there. Explicit 55 plus Morph made H in... Well, I mean... I do 18 plus stuff. A friend of mine actually got me into doing some very explicit writing and also some drawings here and there and some other things. Maybe I shouldn't bring that up though. But yeah. Wait a second, did I not complete this already? No, I didn't, Some odd jobs. I used to do a lot of commissions, that's why. Like, when I was an artist, like, I did go under a different name, and then I did do I did fan service for some other peeps, and some people pay me to do it. I mean, it was a trade-off. Like, that's why I don't really critique people who tend to go into a certain line of business. Yeah, you like what you like. Like, once again, there's like, what was it? I in terms of commissions, like, I did them like 18 plus and stuff. Some of them were 18 plus, so I did some pretty explicit things in terms of some of my drawings. And a lot of people like the writings more than the drawings, and I was very explicit with some of those. Also, I'm not like a stranger to like RP stuff as well, even ERP related things. Like, people do stuff for money, so it's like, it's whatever. If you're able to get and make a profit off it, then so be it. I'm just here, like, trying to think. I like reading this book. Now, I was planning to take a screenshot of this and then just go to talk with you about Stuffed Crow because you showed me like those pictures of books that you were reading as well. Like there's that book that I'm reading and it talks about statistics, like how everybody lies. And there's so many ways you can skew it to the point where like even though someone has credibility and stuff, it's like it's still skewed because of how they're in a certain group and stuff. In this book, for example, one of the cases that I talked about was like how a family was like talking about, what was it? A family, like, there was this, I think their grandson or something. They were at the table and everyone at the table was trying to give them pointers about like who to look for, their love mates and all that, and what to do and whatnot. But everyone shut up when the grandma started talking because she has experience and she's old. But the problem is you got to consider some factors as well, which you always have to consider when it comes to always bringing up something that can go into a debate or some topics that you might just say out there, but you might need to consider all these different things. And it's like, yeah, the grandma has a lot of experience. The grandma actually went through it. She's married and all that. She's old. But it's skewed because you had to consider the fact that she's in her own group. And it was like she did stuff in a time when, you know, it was completely different of like modern age. So she might have been in the 1900s, and then guess what? Like it's different in the in modern days or like in the 21st century. It's like there's so many things you got to consider. It's like she has experience, and yes, it is nice to listen to her, but at the same time, there's so many factors you got to consider, and it's not just her, and it's just like all these things that you got to point out and be aware of. So that's the same thing. That's the reason why I made a video talking about the global and Japanese and these different mentalities and things you gotta be aware of, because it's skewed heavily because of all these factors. The execution of it, the amount of years. Like you can't get 8 years into, like global can't experience the same 8 years that someone has on Japan. Like it just isn't possible. Unless you go back in time. But we didn't create time travel. Now, if we did, now I feel like the world would go off fucking fuck. Especially if everyone has access to it. Or if the wrong people have access to it. Yep, everyone has regrets. Of course, I've done like stuff that I'm not proud of and stuff that I may be proud of. But hey, look, once again, sometimes there's a means to such ends, and sometimes, like, if you're doing it for profit, hey, look, this guy's giving you, like, $1,000 or something, or maybe, like, well, I wouldn't say 1,000, like, let's say just $100 just to draw some art in a certain way, or at least do 18 plus explicit stuff. It's not gonna hurt. Now, in all honesty, though, my drawing skills weren't as great, so I would give them a heads up and be like, you should charge. I shouldn't like do this much for you, because it's not really worth it. We could do it at a better price. 009 says, do you think we have 3 of the same affixes on the same weapon in NGS? Power shoot. Now that's actually a good question. They could make an all-rounder ability for that, but it'd be interesting to see if you could actually stack something of that nature. Actually, no, I don't think they only have combat power as the basic stat. They don't have the different types, so it's possible to use different named abilities, most likely to get a higher combat power. So it's possible 009, but actually no, they do have the same name, don't they? I haven't really memorized the names of the new abilities. I would need to poke at it. Did they really have strike and attack? I don't remember that. I don't think they... Did they? Did they have strike, technique, and range power still, or no? Destiny's missions are 10 times slower than PSO2. Oof. Regular is like 1%. Yeah. I don't remember. I can't say 09. I think they don't have the specific attack types like in PSO2, but my mind's a bit fuzzy on that, and I didn't really toy around with the system over there. I kind of glanced at it, and then I was like, okay. There's a wiki if you want to look into it. I think it's somewhere in my channel. Yeah, so... Okay, I feel like I know what you're trying to ask. You're asking if they convert properly, or they're going to be different conversions because of what we did in PSO2. It could, maybe? We'll have to see on that part. So, I can't really answer that one. Hey there, PJ, how you doing? Yeah, I'm a bit curious to see if they will do that. What's worse is that if they don't really convert properly, or they do convert it, but it's like you only get the one ability. That would suck. That means you would have to actually make sure that you plan it accordingly to how you would actually get a different ability with said conversions. Nah, that's a bit of a headache though. It depends on the programming of it. So yeah, we will have to see 09. Okay, now what am I doing? Weeklies, right. Now, what am I exactly doing? I need to get 100,000. Where did I get the other 100,000? Yeah, it's over here. Alright. SAO. I wouldn't say... Oh, well, now this goes into a giant... sort of touchy, pokey thingy. 1v1 you on Vermintide? I don't think I can. Okay, so... Sword Art Online. I would say that anime actually got me inspired to try to find other animes, and that kind of got me into PSO2. So, I'm not going to diss heavily on it, but I feel like the hype was too much. And I was confused to why everyone was so crazy about it. If you had to think about it in a critical way, it wasn't that grand. I've seen other isekais I did so much more. The big thing about, like, if I had to strictly keep it into terms of, like, Season 1 as well, upon its airing, it's straightforward. It wasn't that grand, and we only had like one perspective, and it didn't really do as much in terms of like if you really have to think about it, really think on it, it didn't really flesh out Kirito as much. We didn't know a lot of things about him. We only saw the things that were happening in the moment, but we didn't know him as a character as much until later on, where it started to reveal a bit more, but that's later on. And it's more of a love story in the later half, where Kirito started to just like open up and do a lot more things. And in terms of an actual isekai, an actual world building sort of thing, it didn't really play on that. I would say, yeah, Hack did it. Hack did it so much more. It did so much more than that. It's just that shit. Like, yeah, I don't know why. Like, I was engrossed in the animations, and I did like how Kirito was a badass with dual wielding. And then the premise was very straightforward and simple too. It didn't take a genius to figure it out. But it's like, did it deserve the hype and the attention and like some of the praise that it got? Like being the best isekai and stuff? No. There's like so many other isekais that did it. And it's just dummy. And if I had to point to a couple other ones, like you could look at Solo Leveling, the manga, however you pronounce it, that is like in that same sort of boat. But here's the thing about Solo Leveling, it's like stupidly dumb and simple, but it kind of plays off of stuff that you would be able to relate to in a sense. Like for Q, it's I don't know. My explanation is shit right now. Because I would have to actually make an essay to thoroughly do said sort of talk argument. Solo leveling can be brain dead, dumb, easy to follow, but it's so refreshing to kind of see it. But you gotta also keep in mind different mediums. If I had to read it, actually you can get engrossed in that too, because it's like, the big thing is, I think it's because it takes it literally. We are seeing how he's actually doing it. Like Kirito, they only did it in a couple episodes where he became fucking OP. But that's done like through, once again, a few episodes. Whereas in solo leveling, they fleshed him out so much to where it's like there was like up and down moments, and then it just showed every little step where he was slowly building up. I don't know. Like, if I had to keep it in terms of SAO, let's keep it in terms of SAO. Like, wasn't that grand of a story. Without doing any sort of comparisons, SAO by itself wasn't that grand because it was simple. It didn't really build up on the world. That's the one thing that is important in fantasy sort of aspect stuff. And especially in MMO, well, something that's like MMORPG related, you really want to flesh out a bit more about certain mechanics and stuff. And I think they did a bit of a okay job with that, but in terms of the world building, it was non-existent. Like, they kind of mentioned NPCs and then that was it. The premise, once again, straightforward to get into. The characters, straightforward, but I feel like they could have done so much with Kirito, and it's not like you can't relate with the guy, but at the same time, it's like, is he a likable guy? And then I feel like the relationship building too could have been a bit better too with Asuna and him. And then later on, like, second half of the first season of SAO was, what was it? It was heavily ingrained into like the lovey-dovey stuff. So it's like, I can get why people like it, but I'm not gonna say that's the best isekai ever. There's like so many other ones that are doing so well. Like there's Konosuba, and you can say that Konosuba is just fucking hilarious because it kind of pokes at all these things. But at the same time, you could most likely see yourself in a shitty situation like that as well, if you get fucked over so hard. But once again, in SAO, if I had to just strictly stick into SAO stuff, it's like, yeah, nah. But that's referring to the anime. Now, I heard some different stories with the light novel, where it did do a lot more compared to what was displayed, so there's that to consider. But if I had to strictly stick with the anime in that certain time frame that was being so hyped about, which was with the first season, yes, it wasn't that grand. I mean, you're not wrong, Zaz. People are kind of like that. I mean, I'm kind of on that same boat that, well, I'm not saying I didn't. I'm not saying that I'm not a big... I'm not saying I hate it, but I'm not saying it's like the best masterpiece that I saw. It's something that shouldn't have got overhyped. I think that's the big thing that a lot of people would say. It shouldn't have got overhyped. It shouldn't have been praised as it did in the past. I feel like Alicization might be doing a bit better than what it did in the first season, which is me saying stuff out of my butt because I haven't seen it, but I heard some of my pals talk about it and say it's actually pretty good, and I'm like, oh, interesting. Yeah, and then guess what? It became a trend where it started to become a popular thing in light novels, mangas, and animes. You see isekais left and right. I mean, we kind of had a moment with that with PSO2. Episode 4 was an isekai. I don't know for whom. It could be for us going into the real world, or those from the real world or the other world going into our world, like Hitsugi and all that. Granted that I have not touched the episode 4 story. I kind of like those though. I like isekai genres. It's dumb. It's like very generic now, and it's it's stupid, but some of it's actually interesting. But some people confuse isekai with some of the actual fantasy stuff. Like Goblin Slayer, what other animes? The one with the magical bride one, with the undead dude, or with the red hair chick. That one, that was heavy on the fantasy. I think there's another anime that got released recently with this one last remaining human and someone's taking care of said human. That one was fantasy as well. But yeah, it's like there's so much saturation of isekais. Only seen the first one and that was enough for me. I make it a point to finish what I started. I can't watch 86 to end. Still can't find a likable character 8 episodes in. Oof. I definitely need to watch anime because of that. I'm curious to why you would say that, Crow, which is why I'm interested in still giving it a shot. God never will. God never will. First 2 seasons still my otaku lifespan. I want it back. Okay, so how did I get back into anime? I think, okay, yeah. The reason why I got back into anime was, or the thing that pushed me to watching a lot of anime was Code Geass. And that was a strong anime to have as your backing to get into anime. And I think I was watching it, I can't remember how. My sister kept on bothering me about it because she's like, you would like this dude. He's so cool and stuff. And I'm like, nah, I don't think I will watch it and stuff. And then I actually got down to watching it and I was like, holy fuck, this thing is cool. And that's how it started. And I just got engrossed into Code Geass. And I just made sure to be on point and watch every new release upon its date afterwards. I love the build-up. I love the character development. It did so many things that it was like, oh. Granted that, from what someone told me to watch the Resurrection, there's a bunch of new changes that I was not aware of. So that means I need to watch a movie recap to kind of make sure that I understand that everything is how it is. And it didn't really did a bunch of, like, thingies on me. So, changes on me. So yeah, I need to watch the movie recaps on them and then get into Resurrection. And from Abby was the one that told me about it. Like, it's pretty good. It wraps up Code Geass, so it's like, okay, yeah, I'll give Resurrection a shot. Should shoot it down. Because of my own personal feelings. And that's the big thing, you had to be careful of feelings as well, because that can skew how you judge something. Like, the reason why, once again, Guilty Crown's up there on my list is because of a personal feeling and some stuff that I can relate to. But I'm not gonna say. Oh man, there's so many things. I wish I watched a lot of the things that were OG or in the moment. I wish I watched like Galactic Empire when it was super old back then. But back then I was like a dummy that didn't know what anime was. I called it a cartoon. Have the Kids Anime app, bro. It's just a long list of anime someone throw an anime at me, English dub. Oh god. There's only a few animes that I watch in English dub. Don't get me wrong. Like, some of them are pretty good. Code Geass English dub was fine. But there's some that I can't do. Especially if I've seen the Japanese dub and there's certain traits and personality that work with the Japanese compared to that of the dubbed. The English dubbed. I think the one that is definitely funny is Ghost Stories. What's another one? I think the one talking about like my gal's a girlfriend sort of thing. That's actually hilarious to watch in dub more than in Japanese. I haven't finished that one though because I was just like, this is like slice of life and I can get back to it eventually. Whenever I feel like it. Oh god. Log Horizon. I need to get back into it. I forgot. Well, no. Did I forget about it? I think I didn't finish Season 2. I think there's a Season 3. I need to watch that. But Log Horizon is definitely a world builder. And it talks a lot more about the mechanics and the things that's going on and what they have to be aware of. And it has a lot of the core things that make up an actual guild and things you would want to note. And it plays off of all these different characters compared to having it with one character. Now, it's fine to have one character or a small cast, but it's impressive to see a lot of the characters being fleshed out and seeing them play off of each other. The reason why I like Honkai is because they kind of do that formula. They have a good chunk of characters, but they're all close to each other and they play off of each other. A lot of the gacha games, like, I know that you're not supposed to be playing gacha games because the story is more of the gacha, but I do take some time to try to get invested in their actual story and see what the game is trying to flesh out and get me to have feelings for some of these characters. But it's hard to do that when you have so many different characters and they don't really get the attention they deserve. And that's why I'm kind of irked with some things. Honkai does it so good to the point where I am gonna spoil the living shit out of most of the characters on there. I will well, even though I don't play the game actively. That's how I feel about it. Now, someone else might say otherwise, but that's what I feel. The same can be said with like some of the fake characters because, you know, they have their own history. And that's what I want to see in some of these games that I'm playing, that they have the history. They have like likable traits. I could relate to it. I can empathize with them. It's like, make me feel. If you don't make me feel for something, I'm not going to actually spend as much. Yeah, that's the one thing that's why 86 is really dumbed down to. But it's like, you gotta also look into it in a militaristic way. But it's really simple. But I'm not gonna say it in this stream. I want to save it for a video where I actually critique it harshly. Granted that might be the first video where I actually go into an anime focused video. Oh, Astro Boy. Astro Boy is like the... From what I saw in videos and stuff, that's like the first anime that became a thing and started it all. OG Astro Boy. I would say like... Okay, Overlord... Oh, alright, I forgot. That's another one of my top one, Overlord. Now, in terms of the anime, it's fine. You can definitely watch it. You get the same sort of thing that... You get most of what you get. But in terms of the light novel, holy fucking shit! That goddamn Overlord makes me want to read it so many goddamn times. I think I took an entire week to read a lot of the light novels, and then I also took another week to just reread it all. Overlord's high up there. Heavy Object, I know that I would need to watch it, because it had some stuff that caught my interest. It's military based, I know that. But yeah, I forgot. Overlord. That's another one of my top ones. Overlord is high up there. Especially after reading the light novel. Holy shit. And it does cover, once again, a lot of the world building. And it's like... It's a different twist compared to looking at it in the perspective of, like, good guys. Military-wise, since we're going through, like, different genres, Kogias is up there. Some of the Gundams are up there. I think Iron-Blooded Orphans is high up there for me, because it has a different sort of spin and fate. Granted that I'm not really, like, despite how they concluded and it being okay, I'm not a big fan of how, like, it did stuff. No spoilers here. Kagami got killed was simple, but I wouldn't put it high up there because the premise was simple. Pretty much Assassination Squad. We're viewing it through their eyes, trying to take down a giant empire. Evil, corrupt empire. I mean, that's the same premise as like some other big things. Like if you look at Star Wars, that's the same sort of dealio. There's a giant empire. You got these rebels and like these individuals trying to just do their own things. Then you got a bit of side stories here and there, like The Mandalorian. You only watch... Hey, look, I ain't judging. You like a certain character, spoil the living shit out of them then. If your waifu's Rin, then go and spoil her. Or if you fell in love with Rin and you wanted to know more about the character, then do so. There's so many... Oh. This is why I want to get into, like... Fate is one of them that I want to get into. Fire Emblem's the other one that I want to get into. Because it's so many goddamn good-looking characters. And I really want to know what they're all about. The only one that I remember clearly from the Fire Emblem stuff is Olivia, because she is a dancer, and she's a pink hair, and like I said, I'm a sap for pink hairs. But the fact that I remember a bit of her history was like a plus. Demon Lord Retry. No, I have not seen that one. Steins Gate. That's an OG one that I need to get around to. I was trying to get into it with like an anime club, but then I kind of just dropped it. Should get into it because I know that in terms of psychological stuff, that's up there. Man. I love... There's like so many OG stuff that I remember watching. Like, the one that I really wanted it to fucking flesh itself out was... I can't remember the name of it now, damn. Heroes of the something something heroes. What was it called? It was an anime. And I remember it was so like low-key underdog sort of thing. What was it? Legend of the Legendary Heroes. This thing right here. No, wait. Legend of no, not the Galactic Heroes, you mother... Legend of the Legendary Heroes. This thing was something that also piqued my interest. I think this was like when I was on watching a lot of good animes. Kogias was one of them. And then after that, I tried to look into some other things. And then I stumbled upon this hidden gem, Legend of the Legendary Heroes. This thing I really liked. Because it had the military aspect in the fantasy sense, but then it fleshed out a lot of the characters as well. And I just wanted to see how it concluded itself. And it had like a character that went down a very... What was it? It's like Griffin, where the guy is trying to do a lot of good, but he's corrupting himself to actually pull... Like, to go for his goal. It's like a really old one. I liked it. It's just that I remembered that the anime is not fucking finished, and I don't know if they're fucking finishing it. Gamer, you still playing? Hey, the ECU. How you doing? And congrats on getting your account back. But damn, it's like, fuck. Legend of the Legendary Hero was like one of the low-key... I feel like it was a low-key underdog, underrated anime that not a lot of people know about. It had so many things that tickled my fancy. Man, like, when I was, like, getting into anime, I just found all the good ones, and then, well, good, quote-unquote, it's subjective, but it was, damn. But there's, like, a lot more I could have done. Bruh, I'm rich. Let me guess, you had a couple items that were, like, extinct, but now, it's stupidly expensive now? It's discontinued, I think. That was so good. I liked it. I liked the characters. I like how it was fleshing out some stuff. I like the darkness towards it. Like so many underlining gruesome things. I think that's another thing that I have to have a bit of. Like if it has to be up there, it has to have a lot of gritty and gruesome things that, you know, it's just like, it's life. It's something that you gotta deal with. Black Bullet, for example, was one of those. Granted that you could definitely say a couple things about it, but it's just that the premise for it was like fucked up, and I like that because it was fucked up. Was in your normal scenario where it's like, oh yeah, flowers and dandy and stuff is like end of the world. Granted that there's a lot of the animes, mangas, light novels I've read that's kind of like end of the world situation, and it's in great peril, and it kind of gives a drive and a push to fleshing out all these characters that you see on screen. Like 86 kind of falls in that, but it's a very simple one to the point where it can be pushed aside because it is that simple. Once you realize what it is, and it's not that grand as it should be, but if I had to think about it into a military perspective, it's like, yeah, sometimes it's not the best of things. You just do your duty. You're just like some people can think of a person that's in the military for serving, and some people might not know your entire stories of what you did. Could be good and or bad, but you see these people say a lot of thanks, but do you really deserve such thanks, especially of what the things you've done? And that's why it kind of hits me when I was thinking a bit back on the 86 stuff. Now, granted that different mediums, anime could do some weird things that wasn't stated in light novels, but that's some things that kind of hit home with. Like, oh wait, another anime. Violet Evergarden. That thing made me cry like a bitch. That thing hurts me hard. Violet Evergarden. That's another one that's on my top. Because it goes into a lot of empathy and sympathy. And I'm not a big fan of that, but at the same time, it's like, you gotta give it... You gotta do that at some time. And Violet Evergarden does it so well where it did make me fucking cry like a bitch. I did it when I was... The big thing is you shouldn't do it when you're working, too. I remember, once again, I was at a guard post, and then I was watching it, and then I had to wave at people and greet some people, and I had to hold in my tears. That hurts. That hurts me. That really hurts. Which one got me? Fuck. I think it was when Violet Evergarden started to realize, like, these various emotions that she was disconnected from. And it kind of hit with me because it was like, I was kind of like that as well. Not in her exact situation, but I did cut myself from the world when I was going through my emo phase back in middle school. I started to hate on everything. But not only that, I just started to just be a bit more apathetic as well, because I just started to hate people and just hate these emotions, and I just like killed it off. Now, that can be good and or bad. It's like there's pros and cons to it, but ultimately it's like we're all human, and it's a weakness of ours where we would want comfort. We don't want to die alone. We want to have compassion. We want to have someone. Like, you can definitely build up resistance to like that sort of feeling where you don't need people in your life, but at the same time, who's gonna remember you? And that kind of boils down to a very philosophical question, or a deep thinking question of like, who will remember you when you die? Now, that's a bit too touchy, so we're not gonna go heavy into that, but it's like leaving a mark on the world and such. Violet Evergarden hit me, so yeah, that one was also on my top. And like, if you had to talk to a vet too and get them to watch it, it'll be interesting. And it kind of hits home for some people with that, because they were in some of those cases where they went to war, or they were in situations because they were in the military and they had to deal with a lot of stuff that they weren't proud of, or they had to literally cut their emotions off or they would die. A lot of the generals, like, let me show a book that I'm also reading. Like, don't get me wrong, I like reading light novels. It shows some of these things that I kind of reflect on and think on. Some of them are just like stupid things to just read off of, but there's some benefits to reading other people's stories and just seeing what they are trying to provide and trying to give a lesson through all these anecdotes and stories. Call Sign Chaos. Call Sign Chaos, Learning to Lead, Jim Mattis. Now, if you don't know who he is, this guy, he used to be a general for the United States. He also served under Trump, and he actually got off of the office or whatever position he was in during his time, and he explains all these different things about leaderships. And the reason why it's called Call Sign Chaos is because it's an acronym for Colonel has... I forgot the acronym. Something about like a very outrageous plan or something. Now, if only I could try to find a damn thing. Like, Call Sign Chaos is just an abbreviation for something about the colonel. And he was a colonel at the time when they made that sort of thing. But I'm trying to remember what the hell they an acronym name called it. Damn it. I don't remember the exact thing. I thought I saved it too. I liked how they worded it. Ah, here we go. So, the chaos stands for Colonel have another outstanding solution. Which is very ironic because, you know, chaos is not trying to find a solution, and it is unpredictable. It is crazy. But he just goes into a bunch of tales about his story, his development as a Marine, and as a trooper, then how he leads, and he leads by example. He doesn't sit on the back lines. Well, granted that he's important, so yeah, sometimes he has to actually plan out and call strategies here and there, but then he also has to cut off his emotions at times. Like, he literally went to troops that's going to fight on the front lines. He went and talked to them, get to know at least a bit of them. He didn't need to, know everything about them, but he went out of his way to know his troops. He went out of his way to know their names and just greet them and see them. And there was like this one troop that like there was an operation that he had to do, and there's a chance that this guy that he knew a bit more than some of the others, like, he got into a firefight and his vehicle got under attack, and there's a chance that he might have died, but he couldn't really show that in the moment because he's doing his job. He needs to be a general and lead. So obviously I can't 100% relate with that because I'm not a fucking general. But at the same time, it's like you get to see these different experiences and learn off of it. This is why you would always want to learn. You would want to learn from people, from these sources, from books, from factual things, from opinionated things. Be open-minded about it. And it's going to be hard because we're humans. We are going to be prone to some of our emotions here and there. Like how if I had to critique something heavily, I might be skewed because if I can relate to something, I'm gonna relate to it a bit too much and have a bit of emotions attached to it, and it might cloud my judgment. Like when I rage and rant and bitch sometimes, it's because I'm in that moment. And sometimes I don't say the smartest of things. But we're all humans. We kind of say stuff on instinct sometimes, or because of our emotions. Yes, sonic language. Okay, yeah, I want to do the coast. It's taking me hours to actually just go through weeklies again. Because I'm just chatting. Then again, I haven't chatted with you guys in a while. I am going to be busy tonight, so you're not going to see me as much. I am going to be releasing video talking about the things that I've done throughout most of my most of my PSO2 time. But yeah, books are fun to read. And I have been getting into the mood of writing stuff again. The big one that I might end up doing is writing my Pandora game one. And you can find that on my channel. I feel like I still need to edit a bit of things on that damn book in my own chapters before I release some new ones. There's like so many things I want to write. Like I have so much to do in terms of my creativity, but I can't execute some of it because writer's block, or I know that I'm not the best person to do it, but, I'm just trying. And the big thing is, too, I'm not a master of anything. Like, I could be a master of something, but I try to be a jack of all trades, and I guess that's kind of the trade-off. Being a jack of all trades means I know a bit of everything here and there, but at the same time, I'm not really a master of something. Seahawk says, should I wait to get into PSO2 until NG, or should I play again now? Your call, because the thing is, once again, there's not as many active things. If you play on global, you might want to take advantage of it, but the question is, what are your goals? What do you plan to do? If you're trying to get a bit of Meseta so you can, well, get certain items and whatnot, then I would say go for it. Play a bit of PSO2, try to get these items. In terms of fleshing things out and finalizing some things, you could do that as well. But the thing is, just note that because of the new Genesis factor, it's like, I'm going to be kind of starting all over. There's a good chunk of things that are going to be familiar or maybe new to me. So it just depends on the goals. I think the big one is like, what do you still need to do in PSO2? And do you really care about finishing it? Or do you just want to try to get a bit of Meseta and try to get some of the stuff that you don't have before NGS comes around that might do something to the market, good and or bad? It's kind of a gamble. not a big gamble, but it's a small one. Jack of what was it? Jack of all trades, master of cursed means. Jesus, I don't want to see cursed stuff. But yeah, it's just that... Just enjoy the game. Like, if you don't plan to play it just because... What is it? If you don't want to play it because of NGS, then just wait for NGS. Like, the big thing is it's around the corner too, so... Like, you could be really firm with your decisions now. It's not like where it's going to be up in the air and a bunch of question marks. It's confirmed. Now, granted that, will it be a smooth release? We shall see. Yeah. I think we're having the same thing over here in JP too. Apparently, I have so many Stargents just sitting in my Visa phone. The thing is, I, once again, will try to play a good chunk of PSO2. Need to finish story. And the other big thing is to kind of prep for NGS and have some augmented affixed things. Yeah, if I go over here to the collect campaign stuff, I need to pick up these star gems and all these rewards that's just sitting in here. Should have did some of the limited quests too, because there were a couple lobby actions that I didn't have. Wait, what the fuck am I pulling? I don't know what I'm pulling anymore. I'm just pulling up everything now. Yeah, like, apparently I'm getting 100 star gems. I don't know why. I don't remember why I'm getting 100 star gems. It's just I'm getting a bunch of star gems. It's dumb. Actually, how much star gems do I have now? Oh, speaking of star gems, I think that's the other thing that I need to do. I have this 45. What's worse is that doing the damn. What the hell? What the fuck is this? Mini suit? It's a mini suit. Looks like a mini suit. It's 30 star. Hopefully it's a smooth release. Hey, look, I don't want to jinx it or anything. And I just praying that like NGS is just a smooth release for both sides, global and Japan. I don't want you guys to miss out on the release as well, so. Yeah, then there's an NGS campaign going on. I got the new, well, I don't know if it's new or if it's an old lobby action. I guess I could use some of the rainbow keys too, thinking about it. I think you're a rainbow. No, you'll go. Oh god, 18? 18 of these. Oh god. What are you, XP? You look like XP. Oh, they gave 1,200 charges for free. Yep, I haven't been in the loop with the news. I kind of stopped doing videos on them. And I'm guessing that a bunch of tickets over here are accessories. Yeah, I already have 451. Wait, don't I have this one? I feel like I had this. Oh god, they have that hairstyle. Oh, before I forget, I might need to also retrieve the last Star Gem stuff too. Or the Battle Pass stuff before it poofs. No English patch? Oh. I don't... It's gonna be easy for the team to just like, kind of take some of this stuff from Global and to just use that instead. I don't know. They might have a language selector too, maybe? I don't know. Maybe not for the Japanese side, but we shall see. I'm 100% sure that Japan, the Japanese PS2 is aware that they have a bunch of Westerners still on the Japanese side. Let's go to the past one and let me retrieve this shit before I forget about it. Yeah. I'm not gonna miss out on this. There's like so many things I forgot to pick up on the last one. Oh shoot, what if... Oh, I haven't done my workout. Hey, yep. Let me get the medals. That's not it. $120 medals, 100 of the 2020, 10 of the class cubes, 2 grains, 300 of that. Alright, I just finished you, right? No. Why didn't I turn you in yet? I turned you in. That means the shell one I need to turn in unless I don't have a shell. Oh, let me see out my star gems. 4,000 star gems! Ha 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 ha. I'm just most likely use those star gems over in PSO2 NGS. Oh my god. I really need more money though to get the damn what is it? PR pose. I still need to sell a couple more items here and there. Some of them I might just put for 10 mil. I am saving a couple of items though for the other thing that might kick in later. They're planning on just straight up removing. It might be an NGS, but there might not be a mission pass for PSO2. I don't know if they're removing it though. I do need to collect this stuff before the weekends though. Or yeah, like before maintenance kicks in, which is in a few hours unless there's no maintenance. Alright, did I do Shadow? 8 more characters. Next week is most likely going to be the last time I do weeklies. Granted that it depends on if I have the things that I want. If I don't have the things that I want, then it might take me a while. But the big thing that I want is that PR Post 5. And then after that, I think I can die happy. On PSO2. Yeah, this character is, what, Dragon Girl. I still need to flesh her out in terms of her designs. Her outfit design is more than her actual face and cosmetics. I have not touched Idola in ages either. Well, fuck. I don't think I'll go back to Idola. There's a good chunk of mobile games I'm still playing. Have the hunger, then anyone else have it too. I'm getting hungry. Yep. It should be my, what, dinner time right now? In my sense. Oh, fuck, it is. Oh, fuck, I'm not even done with my weeklies. Fucking shit. I've been distracted. Well, whatever, I don't mind. I knew it would take 4 hours for this crap. I might have to end the stream and just do this off stream where I finish it off. I might do that. It's already 7 on my end. I'm hungry. I'm getting hungry. I am getting hungry. I'm sitting here just thinking, Jesus. Or thinking about food. I think it's on the food aspect. About what else? Check, alright. Most likely next week's weeklies I can breeze through it by doing this. I think it's extended just because of how just also noting and paying attention to the Balvados hunger receptor. Oh yeah, I changed its character's voice too. Oh yeah, they have NGS voices. Fuck. I wonder what's the difference with that voice and then NGS. I hope to God they don't add NGS differences too. Actually, what would be considered an NGS voice difference from regular PSO2 voice? Saying it's New Genesis instead of PSO2? Oh yeah, Global doesn't have voices still, or as many. That still sucks for you guys in Global. I guess I can ask about that. How do you guys feel about the voice in general for PSO2? For your characters? Do you think it's a plus, or do you think it's, they shouldn't have done it sort of thing? Or neutral with it? Voices and characters, I'm all in. Yeah, not a lot of... most of the MMORPG games that I played have a select few voices, and it doesn't really flesh them out as much. Granted that, it would also depend on what sort of pitch, tone that you like in general in terms of your favorite husbando waifu. For me personally, I haven't really thought about that. But then again, I kind of do. I like the ones that are pretty mature. But the question is, like, how do I go further into such a topic? And, like, what sort of mature voice I'm looking for? And it's like, there's certain ones I'm gonna have to try to just, like, dumb down even further and be like, oh yeah, huh. Just wish you have more. Yeah, I wish Global had a good chunk of it. It's like, you guys are missing out. Because, like, there's certain voices where you can hear it almost all the time in combat, which can be good and or bad. Because, it can be annoying. And it could be done on purpose, where you can annoy the shit out of someone. Or you can annoy your friends. Like how I have that one voice with, my hero. But, that should be it for this stream. I have a new record in terms of getting a bunch of fucking Meseta. I am still gonna finish up my weeklies, but most likely off stream. Fuck. Because I've been going to sleep early, I kind of am sleepy too as well. But I got some stuff to do. So yeah, right now, my fucking storage is at 4,128,000,000 Meseta. And PR Post 5 is maybe 5 to 6 mil. I will not be able to pronounce that first name, but... wait, no. Isn't that like a Greek sort of word? Demetrius? Demetrius? Type mature voice. I need to look at adjectives and stuff when it comes to voices. Because as a writer, that might be something to note. But anyways, that is it for this stream. Thank you guys for watching. I will be streaming again. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow. But if something pops up, it may be the following day. And I will try to get through a PSO2 story. That needs to be done before NGS comes out. Because if I don't, then I may not backtrack. but we shall see. Other than that, I'll be releasing a couple videos here and there. One of them is going to talk about my entire history with PSO2. And then, or most of my history with PSO2 and go into, like, things I didn't do. Oh, her, Resident Evil lady. Ah, okay, gotcha. But, that is it. Conan O'Brien in PSO2. Anyways, that is it, guys. So, thank you guys for chilling with me. I will most likely release some videos talk about like stuff in terms of stories and also like how I wanted to talk about 86 as well. So that is it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Now I gotta go eat because I'm starving. Where's my ending?